Before we begin, the name is placed on the top right side of the screen. The story begins as a man asks Riard Elhain to raise her head. It's raining heavily as the man tells her that unlike her twin brother Ryan, everyone was puzzled why she could not awaken the power of water until she turned 20. But they found the answer in ancient texts. He asks her if that isn't fortunate. Ryan's incomplete water power will become perfect with her death. He asks her to not be sad, stating that the entire house of Elhain will forever remember her sacrifice. The only non-awakened member of the Elhain family is Riard Elhain. She's a disgrace and object of contempt. No matter how hard she tried, no one loved her. The man commands to begin the execution. They begin it as she ponders that she tried so hard to be loved. But it was all in vain. She wonders if she has another life. Just then the man and Ryan has an astonished look on their faces, as it turns out that she is awakening the power of water now. Everyone is shocked as the man questions what is going on. She thinks that if she has another life, then she will surely abandon them. Her eyes are closed as someone asks her to open them. She opens them and finds someone extending his hand towards her, asking her please. That is the moment she gasps and opens her eyes. It was a dream, and she thinks, where is she? She is aware that this room was burned down on the morning of the execution. This causes her to think if she's dreaming. She cannot help but wonder why she is unharmed. Right then her brother appears and asks her how is she feeling. She questions what is he doing here. He asks her what does she mean by asking what is he doing here, causing her to be startled. He tells her that of course he came to check up on her. He grabs her wrist and tells her that so that she knows because of her his schedule got completely messed up. He glares down at her and tells her she is such a nuisance. She seems a bit taken aback as she questions what. She notices his expression and those words, realizing that she remembers them. She remembers that 3 years ago, she jumped in to protect Ryan from an assassin. She got poisoned and collapsed for a while, causing all of Ryan's plan to come to a halt. She's aware that it is exactly the same as that day. She wonders if she has really gone back in time. She thinks if that is the case before she questions if he called her a nuisance. She takes her hand back and tells him that it goes the same for him. She asks him to not worry as she will never do anything so pointless again. He is shocked as he questions what does she mean by that. Right then someone steps in and asks Ryan to come out quickly. It is Ain as Ryan asks him what is going on. He responds that father has summoned the water awakeners and the spirit stone suddenly started to shine. He tells Ryan that he needs to go to check on the spirit stone. Ryan steps away, stating that they should talk while he go. Before they leave, Ain glares at Riard. She stares back before she thinks that the moment the execution was carried out, the spirit stone shattered into pieces. She felt some kind of energy being absorbed into her body. She thinks maybe she has awakened the power of water. She decides to give it a try if that is the case. She realizes that it worked. She wonders if this is a blessing or a curse, being aware that she cannot tell. But one thing is certain, that this time she will abandon the house of Elhain. She is determined as she thinks she will definitely do it. Someone asks the young master how is his eyes. He responds that he still cannot see anything. The man states that 2 days ago, during the assassination attempt, Elhain is convinced that Birch is behind it. He questions if they should try to lift the curse on him. He responds that he does not know that either. But the only one who can lift this curse are the water awakeners, so there's no choice. If they don't help it, they should at least gather some information on Elhain. He also tells the young master that it seems the imperial family had sent another gift. The young man still states that after the girls, they send another gift, and they should return it twofold. He is asked what if there is someone who can lift the curse. He responds that he will give them whatever they want. He states that the enemy must be killed and grudges must be settled completely. He uses his power as the assassins outside gets unwell. He states that's the creed of Birch and takes off the cloth from his eyes. As he reaches the house of Elhain, he questions what brought him here. He responds that he has a request to make to Elhain. He mentions that if his visit is unwelcome, then he can tell him to leave now. He also shows an official letter of visitation. The letter of visitation is a formal protocol indicating that the visiting party will not harm the host family. It is drafted by the intemperate and the imperial family, and those who visit with it cannot be turned away lightly. This dude thinks that he is deceiving him. They must ask them why is he having such a strange expression. His writes and states, it is as if he's afraid of the power of the Birch family. His duke asks him to tell him what he wants. He mentions that his eyes has gone completely blind, that even the saint could not heal this curse. So if there is a water awakener who can break their curse, he would like to ask for their help. He is told that it must be quite inconvenient. But if it is a curse that's severe, the person lifting it might lose their life. So it is a heavy burden. So it is better to leave it to their choice rather than forcing them. He asks him to wait for a volunteer to appear within a month. He responds all right and agrees to wait for a volunteer for a month. He leaves as he is asked if Elhaim said that they would lift the curse. He responds that they did not, just as he had expected. From the beginning he doubted if there would be an awakener capable of breaking this curse. He gets in the carriage as Riot stares at him from her window. It is already night time. A night wonders that no matter how one looks at it, there is not even an ant inside. Not only are there no volunteers, but even the servants are locked away. He asks the young master if he is planning to stay here. They say that the Duke of Elhaim has gathered the water awakeners, and questions if they should go and check. He thinks about it for a while before mentioning that it is a convenient excuse, finding it fortunate. Does Walter to go gather information on the tube of Elhaim? Walter responds that his royal Walter is at his service. The young master thinks about it and wonders if his eyesight will never return. He finds it troublesome and thinks that he can still use his abilities, but without sight, fine control is impossible. In the worst case, he might not be able to use his abilities at all. He suddenly hears something and wonders if there's an intruder. He states that he cannot stand uninvited guests at night as he stands up. He asks who is she, that she tells him that she is not an assassin, and she is definitely not a water awareness, and by the Duke of Elhaim. He suddenly becomes astonished as he realizes this scent is not the fishy smell of Elhaim's water. It is a refreshing fragrance. He cannot see what he can definitely sense it. He asks her why has she come to him. She calls out to him and tells him it is because she can help him with his curse. He questions what does she mean by help. She grabs his hand and questions if she eliminates the curse and restores his sight. What will he give to her? He remains silent for a while before he smirks and tells her everything. He kisses her hand. He repeats that he will give her everything. She tells him that first she would like to see the state of the curse. He tells her to do whatever she wants as he sits down, stating that there is no reason for him not to cooperate with someone who says that she can lift the curse. She tells him that she will then take off his blindfold. She tries taking it off before she states that the knot of the blindfold is tied tightly. He tells her that the escort knight tied it up so it would not come loose. He thinks that in fact he could have done it himself, but he does not really want to say it. Since he cannot say, he can feel the touch of her soft hand. He is even more sensitive right now, and it keeps stimulating his sense of smell. He can smell the scent of water from her. She takes it off as she looks at his eyes. She notices the curse and becomes astonished. She tells him that this is a black magic. It is a little different from a typical curse as it is surrounded by 7 veils, which becomes more severe as time passes. He asks her how does someone from Elhaim know that. He questions if Duke of Elhaim has an aversion to ancient dark magic. She tells him that she just happened to know. At the time when she could not give up the hope of being loved by them, she read forbidden books to help others without the power of water. She tells him that if he does not take action sooner then he could really lose his eyesight. She tells him that first she will release the seal at the top. She begins to work on it and uses her powers. She thinks that even though this is her first time using the power of water, it is moving according to her will. She thinks that this is her real ability. He wonders that this is such a powerful force flowing into the body. Or was there a water awakener this strong in Elheim? He wonders who on earth is she. She informs him that it is done before he states that his eyes feel a little better. She tells him that if she releases all layers at once, it would be hard on his body, so she will release the remaining 7 layers, 1 layer per day. She tells him that she will see him tomorrow. She begins to walk out before he tells her that he will wait for her. She becomes astonished as he tells her that he is not aware of her name, but he will see her tomorrow. He looks at the blindfold and thinks that he is thirsty. Meanwhile, in her past life, half of the territory of Elheim family was lost in war. The Duke of Elheim was cornered and confessed to her. He said that because they ignored and mocked his curse in the past. That is why the young master wants revenge on them. And with her that they could complete the ritual with Ryan and awaken the spirit stone. Then they can fight against him. However, the true owner of the energy stone, her, and not Ryan, stepped in the room as she thinks that if the Duke knows this, he will never let her go. According to imperial law, minor nobles born into an awakened family are forced to belong to their family until they reach adulthood. After becoming an adult, they are free to choose their own residence, and she has to just hide this secret until she becomes an adult. She asks Ryan what is the matter. He responds that he came here to check if there are still any after effects from the poison and asks her how is her physical condition. She asks him why he is curious about that. He is shocked as he ponders that the after effects of the poison would have disappeared. So why does she keep acting like this? He tells her because her condition is important to him. She responds that she can guess that because he cannot use his abilities properly without her. He tells her that for the time being she can move around freely during the day. She must have been frustrated to stay in her room when she was not feeling well and states that is all for now. As he goes outside, he is aware that she has also changed as before, and after she jumped in front of him and stopped the assassin. He wonders what kind of change of heart occurred between that time. She always watched his facial expressions and tried to please him. He grits in frustration. Ain calls out to him and tells him that the light of the energy stone has become stronger than yesterday. They go to observe that. Ryan questions since when has it been like this. He is told that from what he heard, it has been like this since yesterday. He tries to touch it, and upon dress that he cannot feel anything. He wonders if it is right for the spirit stone to react to him. The nighttime appears as she goes to him. He greets her as he greets him back and calls him by his name Michael Virch. He questions if it is not too formal to call him by his last name. She asks him if she should then call him Lord Virch. He tells her that he would prefer that she calls him by his first name. He touches her face before she tells him. All right. He ponders that she does not even blink at most flirtations. He wonders if he should say that she's cold or smart. She asks him how are his eyes. He tells her that until yesterday, they hurt with a lightweight. She tells him that is a relief and states that today they will lift another layer of the curse. She begins to work on it as he trembles. She holds his hand and tells him to not worry and trust her. She will make sure to restore his eyes, causing him to be astonished. He ponders that her frail, soft hand is so small that it fits lightly in his embrace. Yet he is the one trying to comfort him. He was never anxious in the first place, but he finds it amusing. He thinks, who would have thought that someone like him would hear such words? He tells her all right. He will trust her as she is the first person to even capture his interest like this. She begins to use her powers. She's done. She tells him that it is over and asks him how is he feeling, questioning if it hurts. He tells her that he guesses it is all thanks to her care, and wonders that even if he were to experience it again, it feels like a strong power. But what captivates his interest is not just her ability. She tells him that she was worried he might be hurt, but she is glad that he is okay. He thinks that treating the infamous Vitch as if they were a vulnerable little one needing protection. He finds it endearing. He really wishes to see her with his own eyes. He wonders what expression she's wearing right now. She touches her hair and tells her that he will make sure to repeat this favor. He questions that when the curse is lifted, will he finally hear her name? She tells him that she thought he might have already investigated who she is. He kisses her hair and tells her that he has never done any investigation, and he has not even thought about uncovering her identity first from this side. He mentioned that the fact that such a powerful water manipulator like her has never been known to the world means that there must be a story about her that should not be known to the world. He states that he won't try to pry into anything unless she chooses to tell him. He asks her to please somebody. Tell him herself. She finds him really kind. She states that she will make sure to let him know before his eyes are completely healed. A new day begins, as she thinks that, as Ryan said, she's free to roam during the day. She should go to the library and look for books on water manipulation. She finds it truly fascinating that before regression, Michael was followed only by unfavorable rumors. But he turned out to be much more affectionate than she expected. She wonders if her regression could have affected him too. She thinks that it is fortunate for her that the likelihood of receiving help has increased. She goes to the library and thinks that it has been a while since she has been here. She used to come here often to hide from relatives who despite the unawakened. She wonders, since when did she stop coming here? The flashback hits her as her expression changes into sadness. She decides to search for books on water awakeners. She thinks that she needs to read therapeutic books for Michael. As they peel off layers of the curse one by one, the required power of the water will become more complex. Someone notices her. He calls out her name as it is Huyam and Elheim. The twins have 3 older brothers. The eldest is Einrias, the second is Dantharian, and the third is Huyamin. She often played with him, who was the same age as her. He was timid and loved books, and their relationship began to change. He asked her to check out some books. She told him that this is ancient forgotten knowledge and questions if this is not amazing. He began to start collecting forbidden books secretly from their father. At first she read the forbidden books along with him without knowing anything. But later she read them because she wanted to help their family, even without the power of water. However, the secret did not last long. They were found out. His duke was filled with anger as he questioned who brought these books into Elheim. Human became scared and told him that it was not him. His duke asked, "Then who was it?" He pointed towards Riot, telling him that it was her. He told the duke that those ancient books belonged to her. She was shocked as the duke clearly knew that she was not the culprit, and there was no way a young girl could have had the money and power to seek out and obtain a forbidden book. Even though he knew that, he still punished her. She would rather be bitten if anything, but the violence inflicted by the duke using his water abilities left her traumatized. After that incident, she did not maintain a close relationship with him. But when there's no other blood relatives around, he would often awkwardly strike upon conversations. He would ask how she has been or commenting on today's weather, just like how he's doing right now. He asks her how has she been. She calls out to him and questions what right does he have to breed her like this. He trembles and stares at her. Before regression, she was traumatized by the forbidden book incident. She used to feel fear towards him as well because of their former from the forbidden book incident. But now she feels completely indifferent. Know that he heard she collapsed due to poison, so he was worried. She passes by him and asks him if that is all. She does not have the time to deal with him right now. He tells her that he always wanted to apologize for the mistakes he made when he was young, and he's worried about her. That is why he's here. She tells him it is because he is worried about himself is not dead, as he wants to alleviate that guilt inside him and feel better. She questions if she is wrong. She tells him that he cannot stand the idea of becoming a bad person, and on that day he always wanted to remain as a good child in the Duke's eyes. He is putting the blame on her for that incident. He does not know how to respond to that, as she tells him that there is no need to apologize now. She has no intention of accepting it. He grabs her hands before she pulls it away. She tells him to continue living as such a good child. She calls him a hypocrite. It is the night time, as Michael questions, so the results of the investigation, spanning several days, is that the spirit stone in Elheim awakens. He questions if this is the only one. He is told yes, that is correct. Michael asks for the evidence. Walter questions that how can he provide evidence when this is what he saw and heard. He was on the verge of that several times just to figure this out. Walter is aware that although he said that there is no way this kind of appeal will work on the young master, surely immediately he knows he will tell him to conduct an investigation again. But to his surprise, Michael tells him that it cannot be helped. Walter is shocked. Michael tells him that he has worked hard and regarding the spirit stone, he will probably ask Father about it in the letter. Walter thinks if he's finally going crazy after losing his sight to a curse. Michael seems to be in a happy mood as Walter asks him if he's feeling happy perhaps. He responds, "Yes, it has been a day, so it is time to come back." He wonders if he is perhaps talking about the awakened one who came to lift the curse. He wonders if this is the reason why he seems to be in a particularly good mood these days. She decides to leave, taking the letters almost midnight, and tells him that he will go and send the report to the master now. He is waiting for her for a while before he stands up and tells that it has been unusually peaceful and quiet for the past few days. Some assassins appear holding daggers. He's aware that Elheim would not engage in such an obvious trick, and those who cursed him must have sent them. Michael takes out a dagger and tells them that a single dagger is more than enough for the likes of them. He wonders that using his abilities would make it easier, but it is clear that he would be pursued by Elheim. He is also aware that if he uses a gun, the sun will echo throughout the entire mansion. He thinks that he should handle this as quietly as possible. The assassin attacks him before he dodges it. He wonders what could possibly be the mastermind's purpose in sending these guys. He thinks that Elheim defenses are certainly not lax. Yet despite that, they manage to sneak in here. And it wonders if their intention is to drive a wedge between Elheim and Virch. He hears a voice as she calls on to him from behind. He tells her that she has come at a bad time and apologizes to her, but asks her to please wait outside for a moment and that he's cleaning up right now. He then realizes that their movements have stopped, and thinks if it could be. As he notices that she is using her powers, she asks him if he's all right. He responds that he's fine, but he remembers telling her to wait outside. The assassin trembles as she tells him that he might be in danger. She notices his face and touches it, telling him that it looks like his cheek got hurt. She tells him that once the situation is sorted out, she will take care of the treatment. He wonders that even amidst the stench of blood, to think that she only wants to focus on treating and protecting him. Her actions always exceeds his expectations, and it confuses his mind as he blushes. He tells her that thanks to her, things have been sorted out to some extent. He states that he will take care of them, so she should stay behind him. The assassins begin to fade as she becomes shocked. She asks him to wait as they soon turn into dust. He questions if she was the one who just did that. She tells him that she was the one, and she did not use any power. She looks at their bones and wonders if it is another curse. She thinks it. However, in most general curses and spells, letters or symbols would remain. But since there is no such thing, it really seems like ancient magic. She tells him that she does not know the exact origin, but for now she does not sense any kind of magic. He tells her that it will be no harm then, and he is glad that it is not that worse. He sits down and thanks her for the help. He mentions that he will have the escort knight find out what happened. She responds that, yes, just in case he should tell them to be careful. She tells him that now she will remove the curse. He blushes slightly and tells her all right. She mentions that she will start now. She uses the power and thinks that if the second curse disappears with this, then there will be only 5 curses left then. He wishes that time would stop. Meanwhile, the Crown Prince looks at the bones and states that it is impossible to maintain its shape for a long time, that it would be best to dispose of them. It is the Crown Prince Lucas Franzium. He is questioned what should they do with the puppets already sent to Elheim. The Grand Prince tells that they won't be using this method again, so it is okay to leave them alone. He knows that the Duke of Birch and Elheim will be suspicious towards each other. He is aware that it won't be easy to find out who is behind it. He is told that he is right. But it is not easy to understand Michael's current situation in Duke Elheim. Dog Grand Prince thinks if it could be that the Duke of Elheim is planning to cooperate with Virch. He is told to not worry as it is a curse cast with powerful ancient magic, so even Duke Elheim will not be able to break it off easily. He ponders that he did put a lot of effort into putting a curse on it. And even with Elheim's abilities, it won't be easy to solve. Except for only one person, who is Ryan. The Crown Prince asks him to, appropriately using Ninian as an excuse, send a letter saying there will be a visit to Elheim. Meanwhile, someone questions what is the status of the energy stone. They are told that a blue hollow appeared in the center and the entire spirit store is pulsating like a heart. And it is proof that awakening is not far away. They mention that it is all thanks to Ryan. He is thinking about when he asked me where did Riard had to, questioning if she did not ask for him, but the maid told him that she did not mention anything about the Duke. The Duke calls out to Ryan and asks him what is wrong. He questions that since he will soon become an adult, should not he find a spouse? He is showed the letter from His Highness, the Crown Prince, in which it is stated that he will be visiting Elheim soon. It looks like he wants him and Princess Ninian to get engaged. He responds that it does not matter to him, and is aware that Ninian is not a bad opponent. It was clearly evident that she had liked him since they were young. But Riard Elheim was easier to deal with than Ninian, but now she feels stranger and distant than anyone else. He wonders where did it just go wrong. The duo understands that he has no complaints about his engagement to the princess. The Duke is asked when will he invite His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. He mentions that they'll have to hold an event to welcome Mihail Virch in the near future, so it would be a good idea to invite the royal family that day, as a very grand banquet will be held at night, while the hunting competition will be held during the day. Have few days passed like that, and there are only 2 curses left. They begin it as she thinks it is more complicated than the previous curses, so it will take some time. He tells her that it is fine and asks her to take her time. Walter asked him if he said there were 2 more curses. He had responded that it is still blurry now, but he still can see shapes and distinguish colors. Walter told him that if he can see that far ahead, then there's no problem if he meets an enemy in a hunting competition. Although he already knows that Duke Elheim hates Virch, they still hold a hunting competition to welcome the blind. He thinks that they are slowly crossing the line, and it might actually end up being fun. Because he's going to trample on Elheim someday, he decides to think of it as entertainment before that. It begins to get blurry as he wonders if the curse has been lifted. He notices that it seems to be getting clearer. She calls out to him and questions if he can see her. He is astonished as he looks elsewhere. She tells him that she tried to remove it perfectly, but she is not sure if it worked well. She calls out to him again. He responds that it looks very clear. He wonders that he cannot believe he is this flustered and decides to stay calm. He tells her that he is glad she is the first person he has seen after the curse was lifted. He grabs her hand and kisses it. He tells her that he is very thankful and that he does not forget favors. Since she restored his eyes as the successor, the entire Virch family will treat her as a benefactor. He mentions that there's still 1 layer of the curse remaining, but he believes that she will soon fully undo it. Just as he promised when she first entered this room, he will grant her whatever she desires. He asks her what does she wish for. She thinks about it as she is aware it is something she must achieve to avoid repeating the regrets of her past life. It may be impossible alone, but with Michael's help it might just be possible. She tells him that her name is Riard Elheim. She is the disgrace of the Elheim ducal family. She tells him that she was born awakened half-blood. She is a half-blooded Elheim. There is only one thing that she desires, which is to escape from Elheim. She asks him to please help her. He is astonished before he smiles and tells her that her name is very beautiful. He touches her face and mentions that all right, he will help her break free from Elheim. They are sitting together as he tells her that as she knows he is the heir of Virch, and with his father currently the Duke of Vitch, and until recently his grandfather was also here. He looks at her and states that he seems to be the only one talking and asks her if she can tell him about herself too. She tells him that her name is Riart. He is dumbfounded as he responds that he already knows that. He questions that he wants to ask if she whether dislikes or likes something. She is confused as she wonders what does she like. She tells him that maybe she likes animals. He asks her if she likes birds, but she responds that she is not sure about that. She knows that even though it is about herself, she does not know anything. What she likes and what she dislikes. Bird begins to appear. He tells her that these all birds commonly used for reconnaissance in Virch. He questions if she likes them. She smiles and mentions that yes, she does. He stares at her for a while before he blushes. So when does she think it might happen leaving Elheim? He states that if she wishes then he could let her leave right away. She tells him no. She's still a minor, and nobles who are minors cannot leave their family until they come of age. And if she were to leave now, the Empire would use its laws to justify capturing her. It might even turn the entire Empire against Virch. He is dumbfounded as she asks him to not make that expression, asking what the problem is. He is aware that once the hunting competition ends he will be leaving this place. He thinks that he does not want to leave her behind in a place like this, but she seems uncomfortable too. He will just have to wait. He tells her that he will then consider the day she leaves to be her coming-of-age ceremony. She drugs him. Yes, she will wait. Someone appears and states that nothing seems to change here. He's Dantirian as he is told that he is late. He questions is not this famous for his beauty and asks him if he has the spirit stone. He is the second son of Elheim, Dantirian Elheim. He was exceptional even among the awakened of Elheim's direct lineage. Disliking Elheim's nature color, he changed it permanently, and left for the imperial palace to serve as a guard to Princess Ninian. He is told that the spirit stones are where they always are, so if he is so curious, could not he just rushed over as soon as he received a letter about the change in the spirit stone? He states that as he knows, he's quite busy. He wants to see the spread stone first. As he goes there, he finds it impressing and questions, why did he just say it was shining if he knew it was this impressive? He would have come sooner. He is told that it was not originally like this. He tries to touch it as even though the water awakeners of the Elheim family did not create water themselves, they could manipulate it. That is called control. However, the waters that fill this place cannot be controlled. Moreover, it is becoming more violent. They are shocked, questioning what on earth is happening. Just then a light emits and someone appears, questioning who are they. The boy asks them who are they and where is the one who woke him up. They are shocked as they wonder who is this being and realizes that immense pressure, realizing that humans cannot reach this level of power. Being aware that a monster or only a divine being would be able to do this. They ask him who is he? He responds that he is so arrogant to ask him that and uses his water power to attack them. He controls them and states that he is Lord Rayard's 10th weapon. He is also Durin's first contractor. They are shocked as he tells them that in their words he is known as the Spirit King. Any questions if they are a distant descendant of Durin as they have extraordinary strength. They tremble in pain as he tells them they will ask him again, and questions which is the one who woke him up. Dantirian is aware that if he does not answer, then he is going to get killed as he's treating them as beings worse than ants. They tell him that the child is outside right now and asks him if they should go and bring her. He tells them not right now, but in the next 3 days they should bring the successor here. He disappears. Dantirian mentions that it seems like he fell asleep again. He's aware that 3 days later would be the day after the hunting competition and banquet would be ended. They decide to quickly teleport the spirit stone to his father. The door is unable to be opened as his duke calls them idiots and questions. Could not one of them stay outside? He responds if he knows what will happen to them if they were alone with the Spirit King. They would have been eaten. The duke tells them that if they are too scared, before his son tells him that the Spirit King told them to bring the heir to Durin and come back in 3 days. He states that if they come with Ryan tomorrow, the door will definitely be open. With that guy, Ryan has not been seen lately, so they wonder where is he and what is he doing. That Iran has been particularly attached to Riot these days. He said he would invite that kid to this hunting competition as well and questions if they should stop her from coming even now. But his duke states that if Ryan wants her to come, then they should respect that. It is more important than anything else to hide the facts about the Spirit King in particular. They must never let it fall into the ears of those Virch. It is the day of the hunting competition. Michael appears and notices Ryan holding Riart's hand. He glares at them and wonders that he does not like it. Asked how is he feeling today, he responds that he is feeling good and mentions that it looks like it will be a fun hunt. The Duke tells him to enjoy it comfortably. He responds all right as he wonders there is only one layer of curse left, and the curse on his eyes has almost been lifted, so there is no problem with seeing at all. He is aware that the Duke thinks that he cannot see. That means he probably thinks that he's just standing here like a scarecrow and watching. It is not difficult to get his way. His eyes falls again on Riart and Ryan's holding hands. He wonders that this is a separate matter. After a while she is sitting under a tree, as she thinks that these days Ryan has become strange. Before returning, he never brought her to hunting competitions like this, and she never expected anything like that. But now he tells her that he will bring her to some games, and what does she want? She told him that there is no need. He asked her if it is because she does not want to. She told him to not kill the silver fox and bring it to her. He was astonished before he smiled. He told her that he will keep his promise. Definitely. She knows that she intentionally talked about the silver fox, which is difficult to catch, causing her to think what on earth is he even planning. Before the regression she had hoped for a situation like this, but now it is just annoying. Someone calls out to her as she turns around to find Michael. He calls out to her as he sits beside her. She asks him how did he know that she was here. He responds that he just thought that she might be here. He smiles as he looks at her. He's aware that the truth is that he followed the refreshing scent of her floating through the wind. He giggles as she is confused. She questions if there is nothing wrong with his eyes. He tells her yes, it is a lot better. He asks her about her. He touches her arms and states it must have hurt a lot though. She tells him that it did not hurt much since she's used to this. He tells her to not get used to it, causing her to be astonished. He states that he doesn't want her to get used to feeling the pain. Her expression is filled with astonishment as she is aware she does not know what to say at a time like this. She asks him why did he come here. He tells her it is because he missed her. She is aware that other people think of her as an unawakened person. They did not see her, so why did he bother to come to her in this wide forest? She knows that he keeps inviting about her. She tells him that she is glad he came too. This causes her to be shocked. He begins to blush as he stands up and asks Celebrity should get going. He questions if she's attending the banquet being held today. She didn't remember the surgeon had told her to come to the banquet held out to the hunting competition. She tells him yes if he goes. He tells her okay as she wanted to dance with her. She mentions that she cannot dance. He tells her to not worry about that as he will teach her and states that he will see her at the banquet. Ryan is roaming around there too as he notices a fur. Earlier he was questioned that why does he want to catch a silver fox. They were shocked as they thought they should leave him alone. Maybe it is because he likes foxes. The Duke had told him that he has picked a difficult prey. He asked his Duke about it. As the Duke told him it is a breed that was killed by orders of the ancestors, so it would be almost extinct. He ponders maybe this silver fox might be the last one left here. He remembers her words when she told him to catch the silver fox, being aware that he must catch it. He thinks maybe then they can go back to the way it was before. He notices something as he observes it and realizes that is the silver fox. He decides to get just a bit more closer in trying to find it. Certainly someone attacks it as he becomes shocked, questioning who could it be. He realizes that the fox just passed out. He wonders if this was a sound of the gunshot. He turns around to find someone and asks him what is the meaning. It is Michael as he asks what is going on. He tells Ryan that he can see, and it seems like his hunting skills are less than his who is blinded by the curse. He does him next time he should please catch it sooner to him again. He passes by him stating it is something that asks to be stolen. Meanwhile, in her room Reinhard realizes that she did not even open the dress Ryan gave her for the banquet. She is aware that in her past life she has never won a banquet dress, and so many things have changed since the regression, the imperial family's visit, and the banquet. These things did not originally happen, so she wonders why did the future change. She opens the box to see the dress and finds it beautiful, thinking if she would have enjoyed this if she was an ordinary princess. She looks at herself in the mirror and thinks that with this uncut hair, the old gray dress, and the young face from 3 years ago, it sounds ridiculous, and if it were before, she would not have any regrets about life. However, now for her, she will write about her own future. In the evening after the hunting competition, steps out of the carriage and calls out to the young master, telling him it has been a long time. He greets her too, and thanks the crown prince for the visit. It seems to be Ninian. In the banquet, she is clinging on to him. They notices the princess and realizes that she did not even greet them and just went straight to Ryan. The princess tells Dantirian that the behavior does not really suit him, as he responds yes, he is aware of that. The Duke thanks him for the visit. He tells him that he received his gift last time. He also questions of water hunting competition earlier today. He is told that it ended good. The crown prince thinks that it is clear from his expressions that something is wrong and wonders what happened. He didn't think the water and wonders where is Michael. He notices him standing in the corner and thinks that the curse seems to be doing its work well. The princess asks the crown prince what is he thinking. He responds that he was just thinking that young master is too good to marry her. She blushes and asks him to be quiet. She tells the crown prince that Ryan seems to be a little bit upset today. She just asked if Reinhard was not coming, and he did not look happy. She tells her brother that she looks pretty like him, so she wanted to get close to him. They are aware that is why the Duke hates her even more. Although she resembles him whom he cherishes the most among the heirs, yet she is incompetent. They don't even understand why she's still so disliked. Everyone becomes shocked as they think that advise everyone so noisy. She notices them looking towards the stair as Reinhard steps down. Everyone as Duke is shocked to see her. They notices their mother resembles in her. She apologizes for being late. The princess also notices that she looks so different that she did not recognize her. They are aware that it is the first time they have seen her in such a dress, and plus that poised and composed demeanor without any dare. She is truly looking like a perfect noble lady. Even after being treated badly, she always chased after the affection of the family. You disappointed even more cowardly, because it was ridiculous for her to expect to be able to enter the family's midst. He would ask her to not follow him. He steps towards her as she glares at him, and he wonders why she looking at him with such cold eyes now. He extends his hands towards her and asks for her dance before he is interrupted by Michael, who questions if she would like to dance with him. He remembers his words earlier when he stated that he would make sure to take her quickly next time, and he would not be able to take it away from him again. She tells him of course, and she would love to dance with him wholeheartedly. Ryan stands there looking at them stepping away. As the song plays, she asks him if he likes this song. He tells her that he might have liked it in the past and states that she looks very beautiful today. She thanks him and states that he looks exquisite too. Her attention turns towards the crown prince, who is staring at them. She knows that before she regressed, the royal family even meddled in ancient powers and portions. The assassins entered the banquet and Michael lost his eyesight due to a curse, Asian magic that turned into dust. And all of those are ancient powers that cannot be used unless the person is from the royal family. She wonders if that means that the royal family is behind everything. She thinks if today's royal visit is to make sure that Michael's skirts is intact. She questions if it is okay for Michael to publicly dance like this. She tells him where the mastermind who cursed his eyes is at the banquet. He smirks as she ponders that she was thinking of explaining it more clearly if it became tighter, but he has already figured it out. He tells her that it does not matter, and she firmly believes that he won't see ahead over there. More importantly, he tells her that when she comes of age, she should come to Vich with him. He hopes that she would accompany him. Ryan is staring at them as he clenches his fist and thinks that she must never leave Elheim, and when he takes his place as Duke after coming of age, he can keep her bound to Elheim forever. The princess expresses that her feet hurt. She asks Ryan to stop dancing, and that they should go inside now. She notices the Duke and the Crown Prince, stating that they must be discussing their engagement, right? She asks him if he is excited about it. The Crown Prince asks his Duke if they should send the engagement documents conventionally. The Duke accepts as long as the Crown Prince can, but they are interrupted by Ryan, who rejects the idea. His Duke and Crown Prince's attention turns towards him. Ryan expresses his desire of having something to say briefly. His Duke grits in frustration. The princess also becomes nervous. The Duke tries to stop him, but Ryan mentions that the engagement will take place after the coming-of-age ceremony. The Crown Prince smirks before he states that he understands his intentions, as engagements during minority are unstable. The Crown Prince states that the youngest son of the Duke is truly a serious and cautious person. The Duke mentions that Ryan cares so much about the princess. The princess holds on to his arm and thanks him for thinking of her to that extent. He looks at her, realizing that it was not a concern for the princess, but thinks that it is not that bad to let misunderstandings persist. He is aware that there is a reason to hold the coming-of-age ceremony quickly. Elheim is strictly governed by water abilities. Currently the strongest awakened one is him, so when he comes of age he will become the successor of Duke Elheim. And just like that, he can exercise authority to keep Riart from going anywhere. Meanwhile, Riart is checking a room as she thinks that it has been a while here too. This is where she used to be disciplined by the Duke. Memories stumbles upon her as she remembers him slapping her. Back in the present, his Duke opens the door. He calls out to her and tells her that she danced with Virch at the banquet yesterday. She turns around as she is asked if she has any excuses for that. She asks him if she needs an excuse. She questions what is the problem with dancing with Virch. He stares at her with an unsettled look. He notices that something has changed in her, realizing that she always used to be withdrawn. He thinks that even if she does, that it's probably just a new ploy to attract attention. He points at her, shouting if she thinks that she can rebel because she knows he hates Virch. He tells her to not make the mistake of thinking that he will give her less attention. He tells her that she is not an Elheim, so he has no intention of treating her as his daughter. She is silent for a while before she tells him that is fine, as she does not consider him as her father either. This causes him to flinch. She knows that is not something that he can say, as more than anything she wanted to belong to Elheim, yet he never treated her as one. He asks her if she is aware of what she is saying right now. She responds that she is aware of that. She reminds him that just like he has mentioned that several times, she is not a person of Elheim. She states that it's contradictory to say that she must keep Virch away, questioning that following Elheim's duty isn't it. He is totally shocked before he grits in frustration. He questions if she knows what this room is despite that. She is aware that every time she came to the discipline room, she heard it so much that her ears hurt, so there is no way she would not know. It's the music room of the Duchess, the place she loved the most before she died. He would tell her that her mother died because of her. She died because Riart was born as non-existent. She heard that the Duchess was already weakened after giving birth to 3 sons, but she held on to her and Ryan until her last breath. After Ryan's death, she left the world. She asks him if it's her mother's last, while asking him to take revenge on the one who killed her. She passes by him, stating that if he does not have anything else to say then. She shuts the room's door closed as he stands inside. He remembers the Duchess's words when she called Riart her pretty daughter, and how she loves her because she is her child. His Duke slams his fist on the piano in anger. He thinks that she died because she gave birth to Riart, a non-existent, so that child can never become an Elheim. He glares and ponders that Riart will never become an awakened one. It's the night time. Riart lifts the last curse too, telling him it's all done. He thanks her and tells her that today she does not seem to be feeling well. He questions what happened. She responds that she went to the discipline room for a while this afternoon. He thinks about it as he observes her, noticing that there are no visible wounds. He thinks that fortunately she was not subjected to violence, right? He smiles, being aware that if he asks about details she will probably feel uncomfortable. He tells her that it must have been tough at the banquet and asks her if she is okay. He states that if she is tired then she can lean on him. She stares at him silently, causing him to think if she is ignoring him again. She decides to lean on him, making him stunned. She expresses that she told Duel Elheim that she does not consider him as family. She questions if it was the right thing to do. He is surprised that Riot decided to open up about her true feelings first. He tells her if that is the case then she has done well. He states that she does not need to try to impress someone who does not respect her. She tells him that if it had not been for that reason then she would have been trapped there for life in that mountain cabin. She feels like perhaps it would have been better living alone there. She knows that it was very difficult for her. Despite unjust punishment, outbursts, indifference and ridicule. Still she always tried because she wanted to be loved as part of the family. Even if she was used she wanted to be a member of a family. But now she thinks that she does not care anymore about noble families like Elheim. Michael calls out to her before she is hugged tightly by him. She calls out to him as he tells her that he will definitely help her get away from Elheim. She decides to trust him and hugs him back. She thanks him before he asks her if she gets out of here is there anything that she'd like to do. She questions what does she want to do. She expresses her desire to see the sea. She has always wished that she could see it at least once before she die. He pulls her cheeks and asks her if she foolish to only want that. He tells her that she will see it, promising on the name of Virch that on the day she comes of age he will definitely come to take her away. Meanwhile it is stated that finally today is the day decreed by the Spirit King, and that Ain should open the door and see in. Ain opens the door as they step in. His Duke thinks that when he first heard that the Spirit King had awakened he could not even guess how powerful he was. He is aware that the overwhelming power of this water confirms that he is the Spirit King. Ain gets down, stating that he has brought the true owner of the Spirit Stone that he wants. The Spirit King takes a look at Ryan and questions if he is the reason they woke him up for. Everyone flinches as the Spirit King begins to get frustrated, with a terrifying look. He states that they're talking nonsense, and that Ryan is fake. It's raining heavily. The Spirit King mentions that the one who awakened him is not him. Ryan is shocked. The Spirit King questions, how dare they bring a fake one and deceive him? He tells them that he will kill all of them. The Duke flinches and tells him that they have no idea what he is saying. He mentions that this child is definitely the owner of the Spirit Stone. The Spirit King ponders if he truly does not know, because he can feel it that they must be very incarnation of Urin who woke him up somewhere here. The Spirit King states that the true owner of the Spirit Stone is in this mansion. He asks them to bring that person before him. The Duke kneels down, telling him as he wishes. He flinches, thinking if it is not Ryan, then who on earth could it be? After that, he brought all the high-ranking awakened members of the family to their Spirit King. But the only response was that none of them were the one. The Duke had no idea where it went wrong. He thought if it could be really, that Ryan is not the owner of the Spirit Stone. The Duke was told that just in case, they should check even the lowered rank awakened ones. Ryan remained quiet. He was told not to worry much as even if he is not the owner of the Spirit Stone, he will still be the next due, as his brother has no desire to be a duke in the first place. His Duke asks Dantirian if he's leaving for the palace now. Dantirian states that since Princess has already left, it is the right thing to do and he will be back for Ryan's coming-of-age ceremony. Right then, his Duke is informed that Michael says he's leaving now. The Duke thought that he would shamelessly stay longer, but he's leaving sooner than expected. Outside, Michael is asked if it is okay to leave when there's still time left. Mikhail responds that the curse has already been lifted and there is a lot to prepare for. He is asked if there's anything that he needs to prepare for. He is holding the fox in his hand. He mentions that he should prepare to welcome Riot. Someone steps out and tells him that he came out to bid farewell as he is leaving. It is Ryan. Michael tells him that it is an honor indeed, stating that thanks to Ryan, he has been doing well. Thanks to Elheim's care, there has not been a dull day. Ryan looks at the fox and questions if he is taking it with him. He responds that of course he is taking it with him, as he will definitely take what is his back with him. He steps in the carriage and tells Ryan that he will see him again later. Ryan tells him that he does not think he will ever see him again. Neither him nor his sister. Michael knows that Elheim will definitely see him again. It has been a few months since Michael left. Since then, nothing special has happened. To put it bluntly, Ryan moved her room here. A room fit for a noble woman. She wonders what other changes there are. Stepped in the room as she asks him why is he here. He questions if he needs a reason to come to his only sister's room. She remains quiet as he tells her that they're coming of age. Ceremony is soon, and he asks her does not she want something for it. She tells him that it is her coming of age ceremony, so why would he like to know what she wants? He questions cannot choose top, staring out the window like someone about to leave soon. It makes him feel uneasy every time she does that. She does not respond to him before he questions if she wants to leave Elheim. He does have. It is too bad because it won't happen. He mentions that even if she dies, she'll be dying within Elheim. This causes her to flinch. She clenches her fist and remembers Michael's words that he will definitely help her escape from Elheim. She ponders statistical Ryan is wrong as she will never repeat the same life twice. Meanwhile, the princess is looking for Dantirian. She questions where is he, thinking, where did he go again? He calls out to her, asking if she is looking for him. She shouts at him, telling him that she told him not to hide his appearance using his abilities without saying anything. She asks him where on earth did he disappear this time. He asks her how can she say such harsh words, telling her that he is just here to assist her without causing any disturbance like the air. She tells him that he is just talking nonsense again. He notices the crown prince talking to someone else as that woman looks at him. The princess talks about the new maid who just came in today. Dantirian again disappears using his abilities. She's tired of him as she wonders where did he suddenly go. Meanwhile, the crown prince is informed that Master Ryan's coming-of-age ceremony is approaching soon. The crown prince asks if it was in 3 days. He's aware that princess will be pleased to hear about it. They reach a place. The woman seems a bit hesitant. The crown prince asks her to pay close attention, as this is none other than the half-blooded spirit king that has been passed down to generations in the royal family. The crown prince states that it is truly beautiful. He mentions that he wants to create the ideal spirit king and make all of its power his. A true spirit king that won't be swayed by some awakener in order to establish through imperial power. The count tells him that everything will happen as he wishes. The crown prince asks him to bring out the bottle. The count asks him if he will be retrieving it himself. The crown prince questions if the count is not aware of the power of the royal family, stating that red eyes are only possessed by the royal family, and they are not affected by an awakener's power and curse. He begins to do it as the count tells him that he wishes the crown prince would still be a bit more careful. This black powder that comes out of the Spirit King has a special ability. Once you inhale or even touch the powder, that living being will lose all its sanity. The Crown Prince states this will be enough and asks the Count how is Michael doing. The Count tells him it is as usual. It is quiet with the castle doors closed. He stole that. Michael's heir has gone blind, and the grandfather will never be able to see the light of day. The Crown Prince knows that it has been a while since he raised a toast. Dantirian was listening to their conversation as he never expected the secret that the Crown Prince was hiding would be the Spirit King. A day before Ryan's coming-of-age ceremony, Dantalion runs to him and questions if he still has not found the owner of the elemental stone. His duke states that, as he said, he took all those from their family, and they had no success. Dantirian is shocked to hear that, as he's aware that they did come to see Ryan's coming-of-age ceremony, but it was also to witness the current situation of the Spirit King, and he cannot believe that it is still the same. He is aware that the royal family spirit's power is not even comparable to the Water Spirit King. However, he will have to see. goes out to his father and asks him what will he do when the Riot becomes an adult. His brother is aware that these days, Ryan has been weirdly obsessed with Riot, thinking why would he bring her up in this conversation. The Duke tells him that after the coming-of-age ceremony, if he can use her ability without her, then he will kick her out since she will be not of any use anymore. Ryan tells him no, causing his father to flinch. He asks him to let her stay in their family. He tells him that she wants to leave this place when she reaches adulthood, and they do not have the legal right to keep her here. He asks his father cannot they just forcibly detain her. He tells his father that he was the one who mentioned that she is his property, and now he's telling him what legal rights. He is told that he is right, and if she refuses to listen to him, then he can make her a cripple so she cannot leave. Break her so much so she cannot leave, and he can do whatever he wants. Dantirian still believes the true owner of the elemental stone is Ryan. However, even though the Awakeners from Elheim said this is wrong, the Spirit King specifically said that Ryan was a fake. The Spirit King called fake only to Ryan. Even if it is true, there is nothing they can do now. The Duke tells him to do whatever he wants to. It is the night time as Riot is aware that tomorrow is finally Ryan's coming-of-age ceremony. She is aware that there is something she must confirm. She knows that recently Elheim Awakeners have been called to the temple thinking that something must have happened here. She stands in front of the door that only an ascended Awakener can open. She reaches for it and it opens. She steps in and looks at the Spirit King, realizing that he looks similar to the blue man she saw before. She regressed. He opens his eyes and notices her. He reaches for her, telling her that she finally came. He calls her his master, his one and only contractor. She tells him that she does not remember ever making a contract with him. He mentions that is not true. He holds her hands, and suddenly her hands begins to emit light. He tells her that he engraved this on her so she can recognize him even if she is reborn. They promise to see each other again. He tells her she is the first contractor, Urin's reincarnation. She asks him if he is saying that she is the embodiment of the head of the first family, Urin. He closes his eyes and not respond. She asks him what is going on as he tells her that he can read her memories. He states that scoundrels of this family are people who deserve to be torn apart and killed. They cannot recognize the real and cling to falsehoods which are truly laughable. He mentions that if she wishes, he can kill all the humans of Elheim right now. He can make death cover this entire empire. She asks him to please not do that. He questions Bird before she tells him that these worthless beings do not deserve his effort, and she will leave from here anyway, so he should please keep their meeting a secret. He questions if she is going to Michael. She tells him yes. He tells her that he wants to go with her, but long ago made an attempt to split the Spirit King into two pieces. So if he leave this place, it will likely cause a change in the seal as well. She asks about the seal before she can hear someone talking about how they can hear someone's voice from inside. They question if it is His Majesty that is inside. She realizes that she should go now. He tells her that when the time is right, he wants to tell her more than this, and he cannot be with her now, but he wishes her happiness, asking her to make sure to be happy. She tells him that they will meet again for sure. He calls them a fool, thinking that if they knew who they have thrown, they would be regretting it deeply. On the day of the coming-of-age ceremony, she is sitting in the corner. The question if she will also appear today. He responds of course she will, as they are twins and his coming-of-age ceremony is also her coming-of-age ceremony. He is asked if he has to go this far as she's not a criminal yet she's under surveillance. Ryan mentions that he continues to think about this nonsense. He is told that it is a bit too much as an awakened individual who has come of age cannot be restrained by their lineage alone. And within the family before he's interrupted by Ryan, who gives him a glare, telling him that is funny. He calls out to Wyman, questioning since when does he consider her a family member. He apologizes to Ryan in fear, telling him that he is right. He decides to leave now. Ryan stares at her, thinking that this is where she belongs, a place trapped in shadows and like a shadow itself, looking at others as if longing for the light. The princess calls out to him and congratulates him on reaching adulthood. He blushes slightly and thanks her. She thinks that since he has already held his coming-of-age ceremony, does this mean that they can hold the engagement ceremony soon? He's talking to the princess, but his eyes are on Reincarnates. She's aware that she is constantly monitored, and they use the guards to monitor her under the guise of protection. She remembers when Michael told her that he will indeed get her out of Elheim. She wonders if he can really help her. The Duke is laughing aloud with people. Right then, the attendant calls out to him. His Duke asks him what is going on. He responds that an uninvited carriage has appeared, and he thinks it is Michael, causing his Duke to flinch. Michael steps in. He states that luckily the ceremony is not over yet, mentioning that he must have been late. He is not covering his eyes with a cloth. Both the princess and the Ryan are stunned to see him. Ryan notices that the eye patch is gone. He wonders, could it be that the curse has been lifted from him? The Duke points at Michael and shouts at him, questioning how dare he invade Elheim, stating that he will be held accountable for this. Michael responds that he is only here to retrieve what he left behind. Ryan asks him what is he that he left behind. Michael then looks at Reincarnates. He extends his hand towards her and tells her that he has come to fulfill his promise. He asks her to come with him to Verch. She is shocked as she stares at him. He apologizes to her for the delay. He steps towards her and tells her that they should go now. Right then, Ryan asks him to not touch her. Ryan begins to use his powers. He questions who does he think he is to take her away, questioning how dare Michael touches what belongs to him. He tells Michael that he will kill him. He attacks Michael with his powers, but his powers are suppressed by another power, causing people to wonder who is this with such power. Ryan finds it impossible. It is Reincarnates. She tells everyone that it would be good if everyone would stop at this point. Ryan flinches as Michael laughs. She steps away before Michael grabs her hand and asks her where is she going. She does seem that she has something to do before she go to Verch. She lets go of his hand and steps towards his Duke. His Duke asks her what is that power she just displayed. She calls out to him and tells him that today she is officially severing all ties with the Elheim family. She tells him that after coming of age, Elheim will no longer have any authority over her. 421 years. All this time she has been trapped in hell, but she knows not anymore. Everyone is shocked to see her power, wondering what is going on. She ponders that she will no longer live as a substitute for someone else. She tells Michael that she's done now, and that they should go. He smiles, telling her of course as they both leave. She looks at him and ponders that now she can see the sea. Meanwhile, in the carriage, Michael ponders that the Elheim family was persistent until the end. He remembers that the Duke almost knelt down for her. He is aware that she is a treasure far greater than staying with those fools who do not realize her value. He curses Ryan and is aware that she is not an alternative to that person. She tells him that it is interesting. He looked at her as she states that she cannot believe she's actually outside Elheim Palace. She really cannot believe this. Michael grabs her attention and states that he will make her forget everything she experienced in the Elheim Duchy by his side. They have arrived as he thinks it is at the right time. He questions if she's ready. The carriage door is opened as she looks at it and becomes astonished, realizing this is the sea and finds it truly beautiful. She smiles, thinking that it is beautiful and free. It is the night time as she still stands near the sea, continuously looking at it. Michael tells her it is already night time and asks her if she happens to like the sea that much. She responds that she loves it. It is much wider and more beautiful than the sea she saw in fairy tales. She smiles and thanks him, expressing that she is glad she met him. He begins to blush. She asks him to take care of her when they go to Verch. She takes a step ahead as he does that too. She looks into him as he stares back. He tells her that he missed her so much while he was in Verch. She touches him and tells him that she missed him too. He grabs her hand and asks her to please stay together from now on. He puts her hand on his face and tells her that they should go to the sea together next time, and the time after that too. Meanwhile, Ryan is sitting on the floor. He wonders where did it go wrong. He knows that Guy was the problem from the beginning. He is referring to Michael, the heir of Virch. He thinks that he should have known when that person stole the silver fox. He thinks that Riart, who should have been tucked away in a corner when he asked her to dance, he should have chased him away. Someone approaches him as he looks up and finds his duke. His duke tells him that the coming-of-age ceremony, which should have been the biggest event for Elheim, ended like this. Everyone stands there with a worried look. The duke tells Ryan that he saw the magic that she created, and he has never seen such powerful quarter magic before. Ryan stares at the duke before he turns around and asks Ryan to follow him. They decide to go to the Spirit King and ask him what on earth is happening in Elheim. He opens the door and steps in. He calls out to the Spirit King. The Spirit King mentions that it seems the successor of Urin has left and calls them foolish creatures. He calls them so foolish that he wants to tear them apart. The Duke flinches in fear and asks him to please grant them wisdom. The Duke asks him what does it mean to be the owner of the Spirit Stone. The Spirit King questions how did they interpret Urin's will. The Duke responds that one day the true master of the Spirit Stone will appear and awaken the Spirit Stone, and then will revive the family before the Spirit King tells them it is wrong. He states that he will teach them the true meaning of that will. During the time when the first head of the family was living Urin, the door to the Spirit Stone was open. The spirits freely roamed this land and interacted with humans. Humans who made contracts with the spirits received part of their abilities. And those people were called spirit masters. Sometimes there were people who made contracts not with spirits, but with the Spirit King. Those people were called the Awakened. Humans and spirits maintained a fairly friendly relationship, until one Spirit King fell and the door to the spirit world was closed. Dantirian is shocked as he wonders is not that the being the Crown Prince is using in the underground palace. The Spirit King states that after that all the spirits returned and the door was closed. So it is natural that the Awakened could not use their powers. The reason there was still power left in the Elheim family was because of Urin, the first head of the family. Urin, whom they praised so much, was a half-wit, who could not become a spirit master even by the age of 17. Just like Riart, whom they persecuted so much. The Duke is shocked as he mentions no way. The Spirit King smirks and asks them how does it feel to have driven out the first head of the family whom they so highly regarded. He questions if they dared to call her a fake. He tells the Duke that the fake is the one standing next to him. The Spirit King points at Ryan and tells him that beyond being a fake, he is a chillingly ominous existence. He tells him that he is the one from the Worm, the one that sucked the life force of his mother and were born. After being born, he lived well by sucking Riart's powers, and from now on, he will not be allowed any power. He clenches his fist. The Spirit King tells him that without Riart, he will not receive the power of water from him. The dude goes into great shock as he begins to laugh, but then comes back to his senses. Realizing this cannot be the case, he falls down on the ground and is aware that he must get Riart back.
The carriage stops. Michael calls out to Riart, who is sleeping as her head is laid on his shoulders. He asks her to wake up as she slowly opens her eyes. He informs her that they have arrived. She looks outside of the window and ponders that this is the Virch Duchy. He gives her his hand and tells her to carefully get down from the carriage. He also tells her that there is one thing that he has not informed her yet. But before he can finish, someone states that he thought his throat would dry out from waiting. It is Michael's father, Carmen Virch. He welcomes her and addresses her as his guest. He seems really happy to see her as Michael tells her that father wanted to come out and greet her, and he apologizes to her as he did not tell her that earlier. She bows down and greets him. She thanks him for receiving her. Michael places his hand on her shoulder and tells her that she does not have to be so tense. His father agrees, stating that they are the ones who should be behaving well and they are the ones who should be expressing gratitude. He kisses her hand and thanks her for restoring the sight of Rish's only hair, mentioning that he heard his son was in a lot of trouble. She tells him that she has received a lot of help from Michael too. She looks at him as he smiles. His father seems pretty happy to see them this way. He then tells her that she has traveled a long way and she should come inside quickly, also informing her that he has prepared something special for her. She seems confused as she wonders what could be something that is prepared for her. She's sitting in the room as she finds it very luxurious, finding it understandable since it is the Duke's. She then begins to think if this room is prepared for her. He had told her that she will find out soon after entering the room. She wonders what does that mean. Someone knocks on the door and tells her that the master, Carmen, has sent her something. She invites the maid inside. The maid introduces herself as Merlin and states that she will serve her from now on. She didn't remember that in the previous life when Virtue attacked the royal family in Elheim. This is the Merlin who single-handedly took down hundreds of troops. She becomes aware of it, realizing that Oddfellow is definitely her. She wonders why did they assign someone with an assassin's background to her. Merlin mentions that she may be lacking for her lady, but asks her to please take care of her, stating that although she may not know much else, she's confident in keeping her safe. That is what the master desires, and he sent her to Reincarnates. Reincarnates tells Merlin that she is counting on her. Merlin tells her that first she will assist her in changing, as once she changes clothes she will be escorted to the garden where the masters are. In the garden, Michael is waiting for Reincarnates. The Duke states that raising a child is useless. Michael responds that is how it is always. His father tells him that his answer is very cheeky. Michael hears the footsteps and turns around to find her already. She apologizes for being late. Michael is shocked to see her as he begins to blush. His father asks her to sit down. She is told that he did not know what she liked, so he prepared various things. He asks her to try it. Portions of this nothing to her task. She responds no, that is not it. It is because they are all foods that she has never seen before, so she does not know how to eat them. This causes both of them to be taken aback. She asks Michael to tell her how to eat and she will try to follow. His heart breaks for her, but he still smiles and states she just needs to learn slowly and she should not worry as he will teach her one by one. He first tells her that this is a cake and it is sweet and fluffy. It is delicious. He gives her a bite. She eats it and tells him it is delicious. Both of them seem happy to see her eat. It is already the night time as she knows the tea time was enjoyable. Both the chocolate and cake were things she had never eaten before. They were all sweet and delicious. She did not realize how quickly the time passed right. Then she hears a voice causing her to be shocked. She turns around to find the hallway all empty. She wonders what was the sound. She wonders if she heard it wrong. Somehow she knows that she actually did hear it before she hears it once again. She realizes that this is not an illusion and she can definitely hear the sound of crying from somewhere. Merlin calls out to her and asks her if there's a problem as she looks pale. She responds that she heard the sound of a beast crying, and asks Merlin if she cannot hear the sound. Merlin responds that she cannot hear it, and moreover they do not keep beasts in their duchy. She questions if that is the case. Merlin asks her to go back to her room as it is very late. She decides to do it. She still continues to hear the sound. Meanwhile, his duke states that he is being troublesome. It is a protest letter. He knows that the nobles who sided with Elheim have taken away the most powerful awakener in history, so it is natural. He questions how should he take the crown prince's interference. The butler tells him that the crown prince desires the downfall of Virtue, so it is understandable. He states that he is someone who would be willing to propose marriage to secure a writer of that caliber. The duke questions that the crown prince proposes to that girl, Reincarnates. He finds it nonsense thinking that she who could not even get proper treatment in the duchy is now finally out in the world and seeing the light. They cannot possibly send her, who is no different from a benefactor to Virtue, back to the pit of hell, can they? He tells the butler that there is no need to pass on such letters to him from now on. The butler responds that he will keep that in mind. He does the butler one more thing. Nevertheless, if there is someone who continues to send letters, then tell him that he will break his hands so he cannot send any more. The butler responds, all right. Reincarnates is laying on her bed. She thinks that coming here feels like a dream. There are many things she would not have experienced if she had not come here, and she thinks that she understands what Merlin meant earlier. Merlin had told her that to her Virtue is like a warm-hearted angel and benefactor altogether, stating that it would become such a place for her too. Merlin said that she lost her ordinary life when she was kidnapped by an assassination organization before coming here. If Virtue had not eliminated that assassination group, she would have continued to live a harsh life. Merlin had told her that she would come to like this life too, and the ordinary days spent here. She thinks about it, realizing that Merlin was content with the simple, ordinary life. However, in her previous life, the Merlin she knew was a person filled with enough rage to even kill royalty. Thinking what could have caused such a change. If she could just find out the reason, she could prevent it from happening. something so significant that it drives the people of Verge family to lose their sanity. She hears a loud sound. She stands up and goes towards the window. She is sure that she did not mishear. She looks outside of the window and thinks that she needs to find out what that song is. She goes outside as one of the person notices her, questioning what brings her out here. It is a night as she tells him that she could not sleep, so she thought she should take a walk. He responds that in that case, he will accompany her. She does it with this oak as he has to guard this place. He tells her there are many invisible guards, so this is fine. Moreover, she is not yet familiar with the estate, so he cannot let her go alone. She thanks him in that case. As they both are walking together, she ponders that she's sure the sound came from around here. She hears it again and turns around, realizing it came from in there. She begins to go towards that place before he asks her that she must not go too far. She does not listen to him as he continues to call out to her. She goes towards the door and decides to knock it before someone calls her name. It is the Duke. As they both are walking together, she wonders if there was such a small palace behind the main building. She wonders what was the Duke doing here? She notices him staring at her. He tells her that she has a very curious expression on her face and asks her if she wishes to know why he is here. She questions if she asks him that directly, will he answer her? He tells her that instead of giving her an answer, he can give her something else. He takes something out of his pocket and tells her she can have this. She asks him what is this. He mentions that he cannot explain this with just words, but this is called candy. He mentions that it is a sweet snack like the chocolate she had earlier today, and if she doesn't mind, he questions if she would like to try it. She decides to take it. She thanks him. He wishes for her to enjoy it. He did ask her why was she outside at this time. She wonders if she can really tell him the truth, but she knows that Marilyn said she could not hear the sound of crying, so there's a chance that the Duke will say he did not hear it either. But it would not be a bad idea to take a quick look into it with the two. She tells him that she cannot just sleep. She asks him if his lordship had a ceremony at that mansion earlier. He tells her yes. Her eyes are stuck on him as he mentions. Even if she stares like that, there's not much they can discuss. He points to summon one of the guards. As the guards appear, he tells him that it is very late, so he should escort the lady to her room. The guards take her as he wishes her good night. She wonders if he is deliberately trying to keep her away from here. She wonders what he might be hiding in that mansion. A new day begins. As she is sitting outside, Merlin hopes that she won't go for walks late at night from now on, as the Lord scolded her a moment ago. She responds that she understands. Someone then calls out to her as it is Michael. Michael states that he is told she often come here most of the time. He tells her that it seems like she really likes this garden. She tells him yes, she enjoys coming here as it is spacious and beautiful. He is glad that she likes this place. He notices the candy on her hand and asks her what kind of candy is this. She tells him that his Duke gave it to her when she met him last night when she went for a walk. He mentions that he thinks he intended to give it to her from the start, because in Virtue no one wants to eat candy except her. She seems confused as she asks him what does he mean and why is that. He tells her that his grandfather liked candy, even though he was not the type to eat sweets. He always had them with him. She then realizes that, come to think of it, the only direct descendants of she has met so far are Michael and Carmen. At this point, it is likely that Michael's grandfather, Aaron Verge, is still alive. It has never been mentioned to the servants, nor has it ever been revealed at the mansion. Michael asks her if she's okay, as he notices that her expression suddenly changed. She opens up to him about hearing a strange noise yesterday. He asks her about the strange noise. She tells him that it sounded like someone was crying, and it seems to have come from the small mansion behind the main building. He remains quiet as she calls out to him. He stands up and tells her that they will go now. She questions where it is supposed to go. He questions if she's curious about what is inside that small mansion, stating that he will take her there. Merlin tells him that is not possible, mentioning that is very dangerous and she's afraid that he might get hurt. Michael thanks Merlin for her concern, stating that it saddens him that she cannot trust him. She apologizes to him, telling him that was a foolish act on her part. He tells her to not worry as he will make sure Merlin does not have anything to be concerned about. He asks Ryard if they should go now as he holds her hand. As they both stand in front of the building, he takes the key out and wishes that she would not be too surprised. He opens the door and he asks her to promise him that if anything happens inside, she will hide behind him no matter what. She finds it very cold inside. She wonders what is inside as she shivers. Michael places his hand on her shoulder and tells her there is nothing to be afraid of as he is here. She tells him yes and thanks him. Right then they both hear a voice. She notices a man tied up. Michael tells her to say hello to that person, as this is his grandfather. She was shocked to know this person is the former head of the Virch family. She wonders how did he end up like this? Michael responds that it is madness. A few years ago, he was definitely healthy. They did not know why he became like this or how he can be cured. Normally, they would have killed him as soon as the madness appeared, but his father ordered them to just confine him. She takes a better look at him, noticing bloody sure eyes, fangs that have grown like an animal. She then thinks of these symptoms as in the first world initiated by the Virch family, although the Imperial family and Elheim, who received the declaration of war, were relaxed once the war began. They were brutally defeated by the Virch family. The one many feared during the war was Michael, who was called the demon of the battlefield, the Grim Reaper. When everyone was terrified, knowing there was no way to stop him, the Crown Prince spoke, questioning how about using this border? Anyone who consumes this powder will go mad and rampage. It is a drug that turns people into mad beasts, no longer human. At that time, the Crown Prince failed to use the black powder on Michael Virch, and not long after, it was revealed that an awakened of water could remove the water from the body. In her previous life, the only one who had the black powder was the Crown Prince. The fact that grandfather was exposed to that black powder is surely the Crown Prince's doing. He begins to scream, causing her to be taken aback, but Michael grabs her. The guard asks Michael if he's all right and apologizes for leaving his post for a moment to investigate the noise from outside. Michael tells him that they're all right. He's glad that they're safe. They both think about who quoted me, that she came with Michael. Looking closely at her, Michael tells them that their lingering gaze is unpleasant, so they should take it away, questioning why should not they treat her first. They both bow down, mentioning it is nice to meet her. One introduces himself as Hans, the other introduces himself as Andra. This state that the two of them have been serving Master Aaron, the grandfather. They mention that he is their benefactor who took in Merlin and them. Even after he became like this, they could not leave his side. Michael asks her if she's okay, mentioning that she does not look well. She tells him it is just that she was a bit startled. She thinks that if the Crown Prince used the black powder on him, then he would have used someone that Aaron trusted the most, being aware that one of these two is likely a spy. Meanwhile, the Crown Prince states that of all things, it had to be an awakened one, finding it troublesome. He thinks that if he had known, he would have brought them over to the Imperial site earlier instead of them going to the Virch side. He went as far as to mess with Michael Virch's eyes by destroying an entire city. He is informed that a visitor has come to see him. He questions what foolish dares to come see him without an appointment. The person steps in, stating that calling him a fool is quite harsh. The Crown Prince becomes shocked seeing the visitor. It is Carmen as he greets His Highness. The Crown Prince tells him that it seems like he has finally lost his mind, questioning if he got a water awakener, and now he thinks he is invisible. The Duke asks His Highness if he has gone mad over not being able to get a single water awakener. The Crown Prince tells him that he will not tolerate any more insolence. The Duke states that if you keep sending that trashy letter demanding that child, he will no longer be patient either. The Duke shows the Crown Prince the hand of the person who wrote the letters, mentioning that next time it won't end with just crushing the hand of the one who sent the letter. He tells the Crown Prince to not force him to do something worse. The Crown Prince becomes angry, questioning if he is threatening him right now. The Duke Carmen questions, how could he dare to threaten His Highness? He is simply making a request. He tells His Highness that he hopes there will be no more letters sent to the Virch household from now on. He then leaves as the Crown Prince stays there. The Crown Prince calls out to the Count, stating that it seems like they need to teach that arrogant fellow a lesson, referring to Duke Carmen. He orders to transfuse his blood to Aaron Virch. Meanwhile, Merlin is clinging as Reincarnates is lost in thoughts. She thinks that Hans and Ander, whom she met yesterday, told her that they were all taken in by the Great Master, so it is only right that they stay by the Great Master's side until the end. She's aware that the grandfather would never have inhaled the black powder willingly. The person who could stay by his side without arousing any suspicion. That is the culprit, which is one of the three. Merlin calls out to her, telling her that since she returned from the small mansion yesterday, she has not looked well. She asks her if she had something on her mind. Reincarnates responds that there is nothing. Merlin states that if there's anything she can do to help, then let her know. She thinks about it and asks Merlin if she can meet with the Duke Carmen right now. Meanwhile, his Duke goes to meet Aaron. He has a gun pointed towards him as he tells him that today he must kill him and return as he has put it off for far too long. However, he still cannot forget the face of his father when he was sane. He begins to tremble and realize this. It seems today is not the day. Someone steps in as he mentions today a little guest has come to visit. She goes to the Duke. She tells him that Merlin said she should not come in here, but she had something important to say, so she entered despite that. He tells her that Merlin must have had quite a hard time. As Merlin said, when he is in here, he does not let anyone in. He even sent Hans, and Andrew, who usually guards this place, away. She apologizes to him, but mentions that she had to tell him before it was too late. She tells him that she can cure this madness. He becomes shocked and asks her about it. She questions if he can trust her. He seems a bit hesitant before he states that he does trust their benefactor. She smiles and thanks, and she goes near the grandfather. He tells her it is too dangerous to cut too close, but she tells him it is okay. She uses her power, mentioning that there won't be any danger. She ponders that before returning, Elheim found out how to detoxify the black powder. If he forcibly breathes in the strong energy of the water awakener, his maniac will slowly be cured. He breathes in and loses conscious. She mentions that she added the energy of water so he will be okay for today. The Duke is shocked as he questions if it was really curable. He finds it amazing and asks her if she could explain how it happened. She tells him that these symptoms are symptoms of black powder poisoning. He asks about black powder as she mentions that if an ordinary person is poisoned by this border, he or she goes crazy and dies within a few hours. She knew a few of the awakened people lose their reason and turned into beasts. He asks her how does she know that. She tells him that she once read it in an ancient book, and only a strong water awakener can detoxify the black powder. She tells him that she will do her best to heal the former lord. He asks her if that means that they should let him get killed until then. But she tells him yes, and asks him to please keep this a secret from the others. He is shocked before he smiles, mentioning that she noticed it too. He tells her that among Andra, Hans, and Merlin, one of them is the one who poisoned his father. She tells him that is right, but she cannot specify who it is yet, and if a spy finds out he could be in trouble. He mentions all right, they should do it like that. He tells her that she's the one who knows more about mania than him, so he will follow her will entirely. She thanks the dude, but he mentions that he cannot always be with her when she heals, and he cannot let her come here alone, so he will provide her with a trustworthy escort. The next day, she steps down as it is Michael who extends his hand towards her and asks her to carefully step down. She questions so he is the escort knight assigned by the Duke. He responds that something dangerous might happen, so he will watch over her and be by her side. As she goes to him, she asks Michael to stay back a little. He seems hesitant, but she tells him that she would be fine, and he should not worry. She steps towards Aaron. She takes something out. She puts it in his mouth and begins to use her power. He asks her how did she come up with this method. She tells him that he said that the grandma likes candy. She knows that even if he is mentally unconscious due to mania, she thought his original instinct would remain. She knows that it seems like he becomes calmer while eating candy, that in the meantime she will heal him. She wishes for him to please just hold a little longer. Kill stares at her and calls out to her. He mentions that she is already his benefactor. Even if she no longer help them, they will protect and treat her. So why is she doing this? She tells him that it is the former head of the family, and he is a precious person to the people of Virtue. She wants to protect everyone's heart. This causes him to be stunned, as she knows this is all she could do today. She tells him it will probably take another week or so to purify all the black powder, and before that they have to find the one who fed black powder to the head of the family. It is during the day as she wonders how did the previous head of the family get addicted to the black powder. She is aware that there are various ways to use black powder, and if one wants to use it secretly for a long time, she thinks if she should go to the previous family head's room to find the evidence. She wonders if there is a way to get inside before someone asks her where is she going. She turns around to find Michael. She asks him where did he suddenly come from. He tells her that he saw her passing by from the Rose Tower, so he came down quickly. He looked at her and jumped from the higher place just so he could talk to her. He asks her if she was taking a walk. She tells him yes, as she had something to think about, and there's a place that she wants to visit. He asks about it. She tells him that she wants to find evidence about the madness. She wants to go inside the previous family head's room. She questions if she can go in there. He places his hand on her face, telling her that of course she can, as there's no place in this mansion she cannot go to. She can go anywhere and do anything. She smiles and thanks him. As they both stand in front of his grandfather's room. They step in and he tells her to feel free to look around until her curiosity is satisfied and she can look around as much as she wants. He tells her that his grandfather started going mad about a year ago, and in that case he would not have used his room for a long time, stating that the room is quite clean. She questions if anything has changed in this room since then. He responds not really. She notices some books and wonders if this is an ancient book. She knows that is something one cannot even see in Elheim. She asks him if she can borrow this book. It is a book she always wanted to read. He tells us of course she can, but she is unable to reach it. He smiles and helps her. She turns to find him really close to her. He asks her why is her expression like that. She questions what about her expression. He mentions that her face is slightly red, or he questions if it is just his imagination. He steps more closer to her before she hugs him. He begins to blush and asks her why suddenly. She tells him she just wanted to do something because she likes him. He begins to get stunned as she asks him if that is weird. He responds that it is not weird at all. He extends his hand towards her, questioning that if she wanted to do something, then how about they do this? He places his hand on her face and kisses her. The guard, noticing this, becomes awkward, apologizes. He asks them to not mind him and continue. They both become awkward, realizing that Andrew was here. Michael deep down ponders that Andrew is dead. She questions why did Andrew come here instead of merely He tells her that this room is cleaned alternatively by Merlin, Andrew, and Hans. She thinks about it before she notices some candies and asks him what is that. He tells her dose or candy stand the grandfather liked, and even though father told him not to eat them because they are bad for his health, he would collect them like this and eat several a day. She notices them and opens them. She knows that if the previous had like sweats and ate these candies several times a day, then using this method without any suspicions he could have been addicted to the black powder. She calls out to Michael and states that she needs to go to meet the previous head of the family. She tells Michael that from here she will go alone. He seems a bit taken aback as she tells him that there's something that she wants to confirm. She asks him to trust her and wait here. He is rest assured as he knows that he trusts her. She steps ahead and calls out to Wender. She questions if he is there. He steps out and is surprised to see her, questioning what brings her here. She tells him that there is something that she wishes to ask him. She tells him that he had told her that Hans and Merlin take turns cleaning the former head's room. She questions if that is true. He responds that it is correct. She takes the candy out and shows it to him, questioning if he's aware about the candies that are there in the room. He is suddenly taken aback. She wonders why did she not think of this before. Being aware that before the regression Virtue had waged a war against Elheim and the royal family, she knows that all the answers were there. Before the regression, Duke Carmen probably killed the former head himself. He likely thought that was the only way to help him. After that, when Vert realized that the former head's madness was caused by the royal family, he declared war on them. There were rumors of skilled assassins in that war. Odd-eyed Merlin, cat-eyed Andrea, and another person without a name. She is aware that she has never heard anything about Hans. He asks her what brings her here at this hour. She tells him that she came to see the former head and asks him if his madness is severe today. He responds that there is no change today either, but she must have run into Andrew on her way in here, and he mentions that he should go out and scold him for letting her come here alone. She tells him that Hans seems to be very close with Andrew. He smiles as he responds. Ever since Master Aaron saved them, they have been serving him together. They have spent a long time together. She tells him that he must have checked the former had meals for harmful substances as well. She wonders if there were any harmful substances in it. He responds that Andrew is the one who handles all the meals, not him, and questions if there is a problem with the meals. She tells him to be precise, the problem is not with the meals. She shows him the candy, stating the problem is with this candy. He is suddenly shocked. She tells him that the candy was found in the former head's room. She asks him if he knows anything about it. He has a frightened expression on his face as he responds that this is the first time he has seen this candy. She tells him that he is still denying it to the end. She tells him he was the one who brought this candy into Virch, to poison the former head with the black powder. Andrew had told her that this is a candy Hans picked out and brought himself, mentioning that black candy is rare, so he remembers it, and even after Master Aaron became like that, Hans would give this candy to him directly. She tells him that he was afraid that the Master Madness might clear up. That is why he periodically gave him candy coated with black powder. She tells him that they also found a large amount of this candy coated with the black powder in his room. He realizes that he has been caught and turns around. She notices something in his hand as she wonders what is he trying to do, thinking if he is planning to feed that to the former head. She yells at him to stop before anything. Michael arrives and hits him. Michael tells her that he came in to protect her in case something dangerous happened, and he's sorry he could not keep his promise. Duke Carmen also arrives, mentioning that he cannot just stand by and watch someone important to him be in danger. She asks him how did he get here. He tells her that he heard from Michael and he was worried something might happen, so he came. She is worried, as she can feel that Michael and the Duke both care deeply for her. It is a warmth she has never felt in Elheim. She thanks him. The Duke then steps towards Hans, stating that finally he has found out who the traitor is. Vicky looks at what Hans was holding, questioning what is this before he realizes it is poison. But he is aware that Virchie is resistant to most poisons, so it would not work. Michael wonders could it be someone's blood. Reinhard tells him that it might react uniquely when it meets the black powder. She tells him that first they should let her completely heal the former head, then she will start the investigation. She questioned if she can completely heal him. She responds yes, she can, as she has thought of a way. She uses her powers. She thinks that today she might be able to cure his madness completely. The former head begins to float in the air. The Duke becomes worried, questioning what is this. It tells that you do not be alarmed, mentioning that from now on she will heal the former family head with this water. She ponders. It means that the powerful force of the water awakener is the only way to remove the black powder by filling the depths of where the black powder exists with the power of water, and then removing the powder. She thinks if that is the case, then she should feel the entire body of the former family head with the power of water. He moans in pain as she tells him to just hold on a little longer. She mentions that she will definitely save him. He comes to the ground. They are shocked to see that he is standing on both feet. Michael calls out to him, questioning if he's okay. He opens his eyes before he comes back to his senses. He questions where is he, asking was not he fell due to madness. The Duke calls out to his father. He questions what on earth is going on before he looks at Reinhard. He asks her who is she. Before she can introduce herself, he tells her that he feels the energy of water, questioning if it could be someone from Elheim. The Duke tries to introduce her before his father yells at him to send her back immediately. If he has forgotten how his mother died, stating that he will never let an Elheim enter this family. Mike mentions no matter what he says, he will never send her away. The grandfather then states if that is the case, then he should be the one to leave. The Duke asks his father, what is he saying? Reinhard then mentions, as the former family head said, she is not someone of Virch, so it is right for her to leave. Michael asks her what is she talking about. The Duke also tells her they will never send her away. She tells them that she cannot let Virchie lose the precious family it has just regained. She runs away as Michael yells at her to wait. Michael runs after her, but his grandfather stops him, questioning where is he going? Michael then asks his grandfather what is he doing, stating he is driving her out when she's the one who helped all of them. She tells him it was her who healed him with all her strength. The grandfather is then shocked as he questions if she's really the one who healed him. He then gets all the flesh back and realizes it was indeed her, and she was the one who told him that she will save him. His mind is full of confusion as he questions to himself that what is he doing right now, and as she steps out, she ponders it is natural for the former family head to hate her, as Elheim and Virch have always been rivals. And during the former family head's time, the hatred for each other was even stronger, so it cannot be helped. She looks at the sky, and she is aware that she has no place. It begins to rain, aware that in the end there is nowhere for her to go. Before she hears a voice, it is Michael as he tells her to wait a moment. She calls out to him as she mentions she's sorry, but she does not want to cause him any more trouble. He grabs onto her. He hugs her tightly, telling her to not go. He mentions that she is his benefactor, and he saw he would protect her for the rest of his life without her. Nothing means anything to him anymore. Matter what grandfather says, she has the right to stay here. He continues before he is stopped, as the grandfather steps outside. Before anything, she apologizes to him, telling him that she will leave from here right away, but he tells her that he's the one who should apologize and she should not leave. He mentions it was a careless statement made without knowing that she had helped him, so she should please forget what he said earlier. He tells her that he suddenly remembered that she used all his strength to heal him, and he heard that she also helped his grandson, not just him. He mentions that he is truly grateful and tells her so. He wants to return the favor by letting her stay here. She has tears in her eyes as she questions if she can really stay here. He is shocked to see that before he tells her of course inventions, if she wishes, she can stay here for the rest of her life. She ponders that she is so happy, but she wonders if it is because she is finally relieved she has no strength in her body. She feels like she's going to collapse. Right then she falls down on the ground. After some time, they ask how is her condition. They are told that fortunately there are no major health issues, and it seems she collapsed due to exhaustion from overusing her abilities. Above all, she seemed to be mentally overwhelmed, and she would probably feel better if she gets some rest. Michael wonders how much did she push herself. The butler steps in. He states he came because he has something to tell. The Duke asks him what is it. He responds that a letter has arrived from the imperial palace. It seems that they have noticed that Master Aaron has woken up. Aaron mentions now that they know the assassination attempt has ultimately failed. He can clearly see how they will react. Seems that the rain that fell yesterday did not just fall in Verge but across the entire empire, stating it appears to be Riart's ability. They wonder if she really used that much power. She opens her eyes slightly as Michael asks her if she's awake. She asks him what happened as he tells her she suddenly collapsed, so they rushed her to the infirmary. He mentions that she should probably just stay in bed and rest for now. The Duke states that they said she used a lot of power. He asks her if she's okay. He mentions if there is any pain she should feel free to let them know right away. She responds she is fine and thanks them for their concern. Michael tells her they were all worried when she collapsed. She questions what does he mean by all. The grandfather is also looking at her with worrisome expression. The Duke tells her if she still feels uneasy because of that old man, he can banish him using his authority as the head of the household. Michael tells her yes, that is right, they will make grandfather live outside so she can stay with them. She is shocked as she questions what are they saying. The grandfather asks her if her body is okay now. He mentions that she probably still need rest, and if he's making her uncomfortable, he can step out for a while so she can rest comfortably. She smiles as she mentions, but he, the former head of the household, has only just recovered. She asks him if he is all right. He has tears in his eyes as he tells her he is fine. She mentions that she is relieved that he's not in pain. In the imperial palace, the Empress seems pretty angry as she tells the maid to move aside. She calls out to Lucas as he asks her what brings her all the way here. She questions if he has not heard the news yet, mentioning that the rumor that Aaron is back from the dead and walking around Virtue unharmed has already reached her ears. She questions how is he alive after everything, and tells Lucas that he never seems to do anything right. Lucas responds that it is not his fault, mentioning that his plan was perfect if only the Lady of Elheim had not interfered. The Empress tells him that she hopes this is not the end of what he had planned. He responds there is another way, and this time they can truly bring down Verge completely. The Empress mentions it would be the best to make sure it is done right this time. She asks Lucas to not disappoint her again. Lucas thinks that the assassination attempt failed, but he is confident this time even the great Lady of Elheim won't be able to do anything. He calls out to Count Pitas, questioning if he has received any word on the task given to Hans. Earlier mentions while the assassination attempt failed this time, he received a letter saying that the matter has been dealt with. Lucas states, so it has been taken care of. He mentions there is not much time left now. Meanwhile, the Duke and Master Aaron are having tea together. Michael and Riart steps there. She tells them that they are all here. Both of them are shocked to see her. They question if she's feeling better now. She tells them she's feeling much better. She thinks that the previous patriarch still seems quite uncomfortable. She wonders if he is still worried about what happened last time. She calls out to him and questions if his condition has stabilized after breaking the madness. He responds that his body feels very light and thanks her for asking. The Duke tells her that it is all thanks to her. He calls her Riri as she questions what does he mean by Riri. He responds that it is a word from the language of the small kingdom where his mother lived. It means everything that is lovely, noble, and radiant. Michael mentions when father finds something he loves dearly, he gives it the nickname Riri. First, it is a nice nickname and things. She's feeling a warm, fluttery emotion for the first time. She thinks so, this is what happiness feels like. She finds the teacup very beautiful. She is told that he thought she might need a teacup, so he brought it for her. She thinks that he has prepared all these little things just for her. She thanks him for the teacup and the nickname, stating that they are all too much for her. She is told that they are not too much. Michael tells her these are all the things that she should have always had. She thanks Michael. The Duke states that he is right. They want to give her everything that she could not have before. He questions if there's anything that she would like to do as they will let her do whatever she wants. She thinks about what she wants. She's aware that what she wants is to hold on to this precious moment forever. Michael looks at her as she ponders. She wants to express this moment in her own way. She tells them that she would like to try drawing, asking if that is okay. The Duke tells her that could be a great hobby, and he will have Merlin prepare everything she needs, and she can draw as much as she likes. Duke Michael tells her he's curious about what her first drawing will be, stating that it will surely be wonderful. Come to think of it, she questions, where's Marilyn? She has not seen her all day. Michael looks at her as he tells her. She is busy with something in the basement right now. It turns out that she is torturing Hans during the interrogation. He confessed that he was working for the Crown Prince, but despite all the torture, Merlin and Ander could not get him to talk about what he was doing all over Verch in the days before he was caught. In Duchy of Elheim, the prince questions his father that he has something to ask. He mentions when it rained in the Empire recently, he felt as if his power over water is draining away. And it occurred he's the only one who felt that way. He questions if his father also experienced the same thing. His father is quiet for a while before he responds. Yes, it is true that he felt the same. He questions if it could be that this has happened because Reinhard left Elheim family. His father responds that it is possible. If the power over water completely disappears at this rate, they wonder, what should they do then? Meanwhile, Reinhard is getting ready as she thinks that she overslept again today. She has noticed that she has been sleeping more since she came here. She is aware that she was not like this when she was in Elheim, thinking if that means she has become that much more comfortable here. The maid tells her she heard that she is going on a walk with the young masters today. She responds yes, though it is more like a patrol than a walk. The maid stays still to see the three of them walking together side by side. The atmosphere has improved since she arrived. She questions to the maid, what was it like before? It turns out that the young masters care for and respect each other, but there was always a certain distance between them. It was a bit of an awkward atmosphere, and she's really happy with this change. Now she believes this is a change only she could have brought about. The man thanks, and tells her as she requested, she has prepared the drawing tools and she can feel free to ask whenever she needs them. The maid also asks her if she has decided what she will be drawing. She thinks about it as Michael comes into her mind. She tells the maid it is a secret for now and she will tell her later. The maid mentions that she's looking forward to it, and she's really curious about her drawing. Now that she thinks about it, she heard that the maid was interrogating Hans questions if she has found anything new. The maid responds yes, they have figured out what the liquid Hans was carrying is. She asked what was it, and it turns out that it was human blood. Judging by the unusual mana structure, it is presumed to be from a direct line of the royal family. It is highly likely to be the crown prince blood, and when she trusted the combination of the black powder and royal blood, the black powder immediately released a strong force and exploded. Out that trying to feed that to the former head was an assassination attempt. The maid responds that is correct, and if it were not for her, by now the master would have died. The maid thanks her for saving someone so precious to them. Riot responds that she only did what was necessary. Someone precious to Verch is precious to her as well. She then asks the maid if she has learned anything about Hans. She responds now that she mentioned it. According to Ander, Hans kept repeating the phrase tonight at midnight since this morning. Riot suddenly becomes alarmed, thinking, could it be that the fire that broke out before her aggression is going to happen tonight? After some time, Michael appears, telling her that he has come to pick her up and if she is ready. The male decides to take her leave now. He tells her that she looks beautiful today too. Riot seems to be in a sad mood. This causes Michael attention as he tells her that her complex does not look good at all and questions if something happened. She wonders if she tells him that the mansion will catch fire tonight, will he believe her? She is aware that the only proof she has is her memory from before the regression and wonders won't he think that it is strange. But she knows that she cannot solve this alone. He then gets down on his knees and tells her no matter what happens he is on her side, and he believes in her, so he hopes she does not worry by herself anymore. He tells her now she have him, someone who can always help her. He kisses her hand and asks her to please share it with him. She then calls out to him. She tells herself yes, this place is different from Elheim. She has people she needs to protect, and they always believe in her. She mentions that it might sound ridiculous, but at midnight tonight there might be a fire at the Verch mansion. Michael is suddenly shocked as he questions if it could be Hans. She tells them that Hans has been wandering around the mansion, so there's a chance he's involved in the fire. She tells him that. She tells him that she also has a strong feeling that it might happen today. She was planning to look around Verch during her walk. He stares at her for a while before he tells her that if a fire breaks out, it would be very dangerous, and they need to check it out as soon as possible. He tells her that they should tell father and grandfather and search together. She is stunned to realize that he trusts her. He smiles at her and tells her of course he promised to do so. She wonders if this is how it feels to be trusted unconditionally. She is really glad that she met Michael. After a while, as they are on a walk, the Duke asks her if she has any idea how Hans might trigger the fire. She tells Sam that she thinks he might use ancient magic. The cornfields has attacked Virtue multiple times using ancient magic, so it is likely he will try a similar approach this time. The problem is how he plans to use the magic this time. Like the letters engraved above Michael's eyes, curses or magic must have a medium to manifest. There must be some sort of medium hidden somewhere. The grandfather takes them to a place and tells them this is the place. There were many suspicious spots where Hans lingered around the mansion. When he received a report that he stayed the longest here, according to one of the scouts, he even went into the lake. She decides to take a quick look. Steps into the lake as Michael and grandfather becomes worried, telling her it is dangerous, so she should not go in there. She looks at them and questions what does that mean. She is standing still on the lake, causing both of them to be shocked. They wonder if she can walk on the water, and if this is the power of Elheim family. The Duke mentions that he thinks only she can do it. She tells them to not worry, and she's fine, and she will check the deeper parts of the lake. She steps ahead as she ponders. If he did not just stay near the lake but went inside, he likely hid something in there. If she looks a bit deeper, she notices something. She finds it strange. She realizes that she cannot control the water in just this part. She is aware, then surely somewhere around here it is hidden. Right then she looks and finds the ancient text. Both the Duke and Aaron are shocked. She takes it out as she realizes she found it. This is something that Hans planted. This is likely the medium for the magic, and with Michael's curse, father's madness, and now an attempt at arson. The Duke finds it truly unbelievable. She mentions that he must have hidden mediums all over the mansion like this. She thinks that they do not have much time, as Hans mentioned midnight, so they must find all the mediums before midnight. She tells the Duke that she has a favor to ask. He questions what is it? She tells him to please evacuate everyone from the mansion as quickly as possible. He responds all right, he will do so. Michael asks her if he should have the night search for the mediums. She tells him no, as there might be fakes, so it will be faster if she does it herself. She then grabs onto Michael and asks him to take her to all the places Hans visited. He stared at her before he places his hand on her waist. He tells her in that case he thinks he needs to carry her. He questions if that will be all right. She questions what does he mean before he smirks and tells her there are narrow alleyways and using a carriage might take more time, so he thinks it would be faster if he carried her himself. She looks at him and hugs him tightly, telling him all right. This causes him to blush. He carries her on his arm and she tells them that she will find and destroy the mediums as quickly as possible. The grandfather tells her she might get hurt, so she should not push herself too hard. She tells them that she is all right as everyone trusted her words unconditionally, so she wants to repay that trust. She is determined that she will definitely protect this place. The case stumbles on to the 8th one, realizing there are quite a lot of them. She tells him there are about 3 places left. He tells her that they should hurry as it seems like the sun is about to set. She knows there are not much left and just a few more to destroy, and they can prevent the fire. Right then, she notices something and calls out to Michael. She realizes that the mansion is on fire. Understanding that there was a place they missed, Michael tells her it will be all right, as father must have already evacuated everyone from the mansion so that small fire will be put out soon without anyone getting hurt. He tells her to not worry too much. But she trembles before there's another explosion. It's on that area where that death power of the Virch resides. He knows if that power were to be released. She then questions what happens if it comes out. He tells her that that power does not affect direct descendants, but for ordinary people, just a touch can be futile. That is why even the Virch people never approached that area. The imperial family probably set the fire there, hoping that the power would be unleashed and wipe out the Virch people. He writes in anger. He's aware if things go wrong, that power could spread throughout the empire. They would not go this far just to kill ordinary soldiers or servants. He then tells her that they are targeting her. She knows before her regression the only place that burned was the mansion. Be aware that because of her, the future has changed. Walter appears, telling her that the dead power is about to be released and she needs to get out of here immediately. She asks them if he wants her to escape alone. He tells her yes, as the young lord will be fine, but she won't survive the death power. Luckily, there is an awakened one in Virtue, who can transport over long distances. They should be able to move at least one person. She then asks Walter what about him, and Merlin and other servants. She questions what about the other people in the mansion. How could she escape alone? He tells her that the others will evacuate too, so she does not need to worry too much. She tells him he's a liar as the forest will burn faster than the Virch people can escape. She gets on the ground and tells them that she will never escape alone. She has to put out the fire. Walter tells her that the fire is too large, it is too dangerous for her to handle alone. Even if they gather all the water in Virtue, it won't be enough. Michael also tells her that extinguishing a fire created with ancient power won't be easy. She could be in danger, but she tells him that she cannot just stand by and watch people die. She reminds him that she promised that she would protect Virch. She begins to use her powers. She's aware that the reason they placed the medium specifically in the water everywhere is because they used Virch's water as a sacrificial offering for ancient sorcery. This means using this mansion's water alone won't put out the fire, so what she needs to do is summon the strongest brain possible. Right then, it begins to rain. Michael is shocked. He is aware from the beginning he said he would protect her, and in the end he thought he was the one saving her. But in reality, ever since the moment he first met her, the one who was saved was not her but him. She looks at him as she smiles. The prince decides to go to his room. The other one joins him. He's aware that since that day he has been in Riart's room every day. He still cannot believe it to have the true hair taken right in front of him. Maybe this time they might receive a reply. He is aware that even so, it is true that among those left in Elheim, Ryan's power is the strongest. Aware that Elheim family still needs Ryan, he tells them that they should send another letter to the Virch family. Maybe this time they might receive a reply. Right then it begins to rain. He wonders why is it raining before he feels something. Realizing this is the same symptom as before, he feels like his power is disappearing. He falls down on the ground. He wonders what if this power disappears too. Is hurting before Ryan states that he can see that Elheim becoming a powerless land is not far off. A few days later, Riart knows that a lot has changed from the previous life. The people of Virchie are now safe and everyone is at peace. She is really relieved that she can protect this place, but even after making it rain so heavily, she doesn't feel any loss of scratch in her body. Instead, she feels like the energy of the water is rising within her. It is as if she has regained something which she had lost. She thinks perhaps she might have taken all the power of the people of Elheim. She hears something as she turns around to find a silver fox. She gets down and pats it. She finds it really cute and questions where did it come from and if it is lost. Michael follows after her. He asks her if she's out for a walk. She tells him that she's just out for a breath of fresh air. She questions if this silver fox is the one she raised in Virchie. He tells her that the thing is actually he brought this one from Elheim. He met it during the hunting competition. But he did not want to show it to her readily because it might remind her of the bad memories from there. It has not been fully trained yet. She questions that a little gentle and cute fox need training. He mentions it is quite ferocious, but seeing it so calm now, it seems to really like her. He asks her if she really likes the fox too. She tells him yes, she likes it. It is so cute. He smiles, telling her that he's glad. And then he asks her that how is she feeling. He thinks that grandfather and his father would be in an uproar if they heard she's out for a walk. She tells him that she's fine and mentions both of them worry too much about her. He then placed his hand on her. He tells her she knows that he's the one who worries most about her. He mentions actually he hopes she never falls into any kind of danger again. But if such a situation comes again, he knows she will make the same choice. So next time he wishes for her to stay like this with him. And remember that he will protect her by her side in any situation. No matter how dangerous or difficult it is, he does not care. To him she is the most beautiful. She smiles and mentions that she will remember and thank him. She knows instead of saying no to do it again, he told her to stay together. That feeling is so reassuring and warm. The butler appears. They ask him what is the matter. They are told that the Duke has summoned them, he said. There are matters to discuss. They both step in. He asks Riard how is she feeling right now. She responds she is feeling very light and thanks him for his concern. Michael asks him what is it that he needs to discuss. He responds it is time to pay off the debt. She questions if it is about the Imperial Palace, and he responds yes, as he plans to set fire to the Imperial Palace. Riard asks him if he is planning to set a fire. The Duke responds that they have many species in the Imperial Palace, so that should not be difficult. The Duke tells her if she thinks setting a fire is too trivial, shall they capture the people involved in the fire incident and torture them? He tells her he will do as she wishes. Michael asks his father is not that too cruel for her to hear. The Duke responds that she is also part of the Virch family, so she needs to get used to these things. She states considering what the Imperial Mansion has done to Virch family, she knew he would not just stand by and watch. She mentions that she respects Virch's choice. But please, he should ensure that innocent people do not get hurt. He states of course he will do as she wishes. She also says that there is something she needs to tell him after the last time she caused rain with her power. She did not feel like her power was draining, but rather it was rising. She tells him that she is starting to think that she might have taken the power of the Elheim family. Both of them are shocked by her statement. Michael smirks and asks if that's the case. The Duke realizes this means that Elheim is losing the power of water. Mikhail states that is good news. The Duke wonders how the Imperial family will react when they find out. Reinhard questions what will happen if the Imperial family finds out. The Duke tells her that they probably won't stay still. The Imperial family has long catered to Elheim family, because it would be troublesome if an awakened family went to another country. Elheim has exploited the Imperial family by using that fact. If they lose their power, they might retaliate. So far, their attacks on Virtue were meant to check their growing strength. The Duke is curious to see how they will be treated, but he is aware that it's not something for them to worry about. They just need to watch as they slowly crumble. In the Crown Prince Palace, he thinks by now Virtue family must be reduced to ashes. At last, a long-standing grudge that even past Emperor could not resolve has been settled. Someone knocks on his door as he tells them to come in. The attendant steps in hurriedly. The Crown Prince questions if he has come to report on Virtue. He responds that he has used a lot of ancient power, so he is not in the best condition. But that means Virtue must have surely been engulfed in flames. The attendant tells him that he heard the fire that started at the Birkie mansion went out quickly. This shocks the wrong prince as he starts to yell at the attendant, questioning what is he talking about. There is no way that fire would go out so easily. The attendant tells him that they confirm that a strong fire had ignited. It was certainly ancient flames, but right after that it started raining. The Crown Prince clenches his fist. He realizes that Reinhard is behind this. He questions if it is that woman who ruined his plans again this time. He wonders just how powerful is she, realizing that he has to get his hands on her somehow, even if it means giving her the Crown Princess position. He tells the attendant to investigate how the lady spent her time at Elheim, find out what she likes or dislikes. Right then, they are stunned by a sudden light. They turn around to find a huge fire explosion. The Crown Prince is taken aback as he questions what is that. He has no idea what's happening. All of a sudden, he wonders how come the Imperial Palace is on fire. He questions if the Walsh family are taking revenge on him. Right then, a maid calls out to him and tells him the Emperor has ordered for him to come to the throne room immediately. After a while as he gets there, the attendant informs His Majesty that he has brought the Crown Prince as he commanded. His Majesty tells him he did a good job. His Majesty calls out to the Crown Prince and states that he received a report that the fire broke out at the Crown Prince's palace. He states that it does not appear to be an ordinary fire. Even the royal palace's water cannot extinguish it. If left unchecked, it will spread to the entire palace. The Crown Prince becomes scared before His Majesty states he will ask him directly if he did something to earn Virtue's enmity. His Majesty tells him that he made it clear for him that he must not do anything to provoke Virtue, right? The Crown Prince wonders how on earth did things turn out like this. He is aware that by now it should be Virtue engulfed in flames. Without Virtue, the greatest threat to the Imperial family would be gone. He wonders why does His Majesty keep foolishly telling him not to provoke the Virtue family. His Majesty tells him that he has sent a request for support to Elheim and they should arrive soon, stating that he should be sure to welcome them with utmost respect, as if he makes a mistake like this again, he will not tolerate it. The Crown Prince responds he got it. He thinks once the Duke of the Elheim arrives and puts out the fire, he can somehow cover this up. Then he will think of a way to bring the Elheim lady here. Right then, the Duke of Elheim arrives. His Majesty calls out to him and tells him to quickly request that they extinguish the fire, but he is told that there is a problem. His Majesty questions, what does he mean by that problem? Mentioning that Elheim has arrived, so it's only a matter of time before they put out the fire. He is told that Elheim has declared that they will not take any action to suppress the fire, leaving both the Crown Prince and His Majesty shocked. In the carriage, the Duke of Elheim had a worrisome look on his face, aware that the power of water has disappeared. The lower-ranked awakeners of the Elheim family have completely reverted back to ordinary people. Although the direct lineage members have some power left, but they already feel their limits. He knows that even if they use their powers even once more from now, they will end up becoming the powerless people that we despised so much. And to make it worse now, they have received an order to put out the Imperial family's fire in this situation. He wonders what should they do. They are informed that they have arrived. His son tells the Duke that they should get off now, but he disagrees, stating that they must never get off the carriage. His Duke states that the Elheim family has visited the Imperial family according to the Emperor's orders. but declares that it will not intervene in the matters between the imperial family and the Virch. The prince asks him what is he exactly trying to do. He responds that, as he said, they will not get off the carriage, and no one should use their powers. His son becomes shocked, mentioning that they have already received the order. The Duke of Elheim asks him if he is planning to turn into a powerless person just because of a fire that he might be able to put out. He makes it clear that all they need to do is declare that this is solely between the Virch and the imperial family and that they should not interfere. He states that this is the best that they can do right now. He also questions them if any one of them knows the whereabouts of Dantirian. He is told that no one has seen him in the imperial family since the fire started. The Duke calls him a worthless fool, questioning where on earth is he and what is he doing in this situation. Someone knocks on the carriage door as the Duke of Elheim repeats again that no one in Elheim will get off before they are shocked by the statement that the Emperor is here with his knights. The carriage's door is opened as His Majesty states that it has been a while. He mentions that he has heard that the Duke does not intend to put out the fire. I states that he does not misunderstand Elheim's position. Getting involved in the matters between the imperial family and Virch could be troublesome. He understands that, but he expresses that he is a little curious about something. He questions if is it that he does not want to put out the fire, or is it that he cannot put it out. The Duke of Elheim keeps quiet as His Majesty commands him to use his water power right now. The Duke of Elheim realizes that the Emperor is by no means a fool. Sharp suspicious regarding Elheim's actions must be piercing through his mind in such a situation. His Majesty asks him if he cannot hear what he is saying. He repeats that the Duke of Elheim must use his powers right now. The Duke of Elheim responds that he understood. As they get off the carriage, the Duke questions where should he use the power of water. The Emperor points towards the small greenhouse over there, which has nothing to do with the Crown Prince. His Emperor asks him to use his water power to put out the fire over there. The Duke responds all right and calls out to Huyaman, who himself is very frightened. He is told that he will use the power of water to put out the fire. This leaves him totally nervous and scared as he begins to work on it. He tries to get them to work before it works and the fire from the greenhouse is put out. He is aware that his powers are not working properly and bows down and begins to cry. Knowing Huyaman Elheim has now become a powerless person, the Duke of Elheim asks the Emperor if that is now enough proof. The Emperor responds that he has seen the power of water well enough, but it was only the third son who demonstrated it. He tells the Duke that this time it's his turn, leaving the Duke taken aback. The Emperor mentions that if he shows the power of water himself in front of everyone, then he will set aside any suspicions, even if the fire isn't put out. The Duke wonders, could it be that he is already convinced from the beginning that their power has disappeared? He knows that the reason they could reign over the empire like this is neither due to wealth, political skill, nor excellent warfare. It is all thanks to the power of water that their family inherited. If all of the members of Elheim family lose their power like this, the imperial family might exact its revenge in ways they cannot even imagine. His Majesty tells the Duke to get started. The Duke begins to work on his power. Right then they hear a strong sound and darkness covers the sky. The knights wonder what is that sound and what on earth is that. The Duke takes a look at it too. Before he is totally shocked, he also wonders what is that. A few minutes ago in the imperial palace, everyone was evacuating as the fire was spreading very rapidly. They were told to bring water, but water was not helping it. A person stood there as they went somewhere down, pondering that she's definitely here somewhere. A person the Crown Prince has hidden here, a being similar to, yet different from the Spirit King. He realizes she is definitely somewhere around here before he notices her. He takes off his hoodie and thinks something is different about her. He states that it looks like she has finally awakened. He questions just who is she. She smirks as she responds that she is the past. This makes him ask her if that is the case. Then can she perhaps turn time back to the past? She tells him it is something that requires a lot of power, but it is possible. He finds it amazing as he mentions it is worth stalking the Crown Prince all this time after all. She mentions that he smells of water as she asks him if he is a being of water. He responds that she is right. She also states that there is a scent of something fake coming from his body. He ponders she is not as strong as the Spirit King, but yet her aura is chilling. He questions if she's talking about Ryan. She states that she needs that person, he tells her. If she does not tell him the reason, then he cannot tell her either. She tells him to find her other half to become the complete Spirit King. If he helps her find her other half, it would be easy to turn back to whatever time he wants. He is aware that if he can go back to the time, then he can go back to the time when Reincarnates was in Elheim. He tells her all right, it won't be possible immediately. but he'll bring the fake when he gets the chance. In exchange, he needs convincing evidence that she is a spirit related to the past. He mentions if she turned back the fire that is burning the Imperial's palace right now, he will believe her. She responds. Then she will have to fall asleep again for several months. He tells her that is nothing if he can bring the fake. She accepts the deal and begins to use her power, leaving him shocked. She then tells him she'll wait for the fake one and falls asleep. As everyone begins to look at her power, they cannot help but wonder what is that. Right then all of the flames vanishes, leaving everyone shocked. His Majesty is also informed that the fire that was burning the Imperial Palace has all been extinguished. His Majesty confirms if that is the case. He knows it is a good news, but it is a shame he could not witness the power of Elheim family. He mentions that he will look forward to next time. He mentions at that time the Duke won't be able to escape as he did today. The Duke realizes that he cannot avoid it anyway. He already knows everything about Elheim's situation when they get back and step off the carriage. His son informs the Duke that it was really dangerous earlier, mentioning that the Emperor already seems convinced that they have lost its power, and if something like this happens again, there will be nothing that they can do. The Duke realizes that they have to bring Reinhard back somehow, knowing that they cannot delay any longer. His son tells him, but still they did not get any reply to the letter that they sent. The Duke becomes frustrated and shouts if there is no reply to the letter, should not they just barge in? He responds all right as he ponders. He cannot believe father is the same person as before. He used to think they were quite a harmonious family. But now only hostility remains between them. As Dantirian appears, he asks them if they have finally returned. He questions Dantirian, where on earth has he been to show up only now? He responds that he had some matters to attend to. He is questioned how can he laugh in this situation, to which he responds, why cannot he do that when he's enjoying himself very much? He is told that instead of grinning like that, he should think of a way to bring back Reinhard. He responds that he can bring her. This leaves his brother shocked. He repeats that he can bring her back here. His brother asks her just how does he plan to bring her back. He calls out to Rian, mentioning that it'll only work if he agrees. He states that he has found an important key. Ryan smirks and states he will do whatever it takes as long as he can bring her back here again. In Virtue, Reinhard is painting as the maid tells her that the silver fox really follows her well. She responds yes, it is so adorable, and it seems to be a naturally gentle creature. The maid wonders about it being a naturally gentle creature. She knows that is not at all the case. The maid then focuses on her painting, stating that it is truly a beautiful painting. Reinhard asks the maid if she recognizes what it is. She responds, of course it is a beautiful ocean that she has painted. She responds yes, it is the first ocean that she ever saw. When she was in Elheim, she always thought about wanting to go somewhere wide and open. And on the day Michael first came to her, he took her to the ocean, and that ocean had stayed in her mind for a long time. The maid states even though it is her first painting, it is such a beautiful piece, asking her would not it be nice to preserve it in a frame. She responds that she has someone in mind that she wants to give her first painting to. Outside, she notices Michael and calls out to him. The knight also greets her. Michael asks her if she was looking for him. She tells him yes, she has something to tell him. He asks her what is it as she seems a bit nervous, but she shows him the painting and mentions that she wanted to give this to him. She tells him it is the first painting she ever made, and she painted the ocean they went to together. He asks her if she is sure he can have it as he is totally shocked. She responds of course he can as he has a warm smile on his face. He thanks her and mentions this might be the best gift he has ever got, and he will treasure it. Even the attendant states that her painting skills are incredibly high for this to be her first painting. Michael mentions that he agrees and it would be a waste not to share this talent with the world. He asks her why does she not enter a competition. She thinks about it as she is told there is an art competition where nobles mainly participate anonymously. Everyone showcases their artistic skills freely, and he can confidently say that her painting would be the most stunning out there. She thinks about anonymous art competition, remembering that she heard about it before her return. There is one Grand Ducal family and 3 ducal families in the Empire. The Eyeless Grand Duchy, which is the maternal family of Empress Terentia, then the Water Duchy of Elheim, the Death Duchy of Virch, and lastly, the Haran Duchy, which is shrouded in mystery. He heard the Duke of Haran is a judge in that competition. He uses the alias Jen Walker. She thinks if she ever entered that competition, she might have a chance to meet him, and perhaps it could be helpful for Virtue. She tells him that she wants to enter the competition. Michael responds that is great, and he will talk to his father about it. He thanks her again for the gift. He mentions that he did not expect to receive it first, to which she asks him what does he mean. He responds nothing and then questions if there is anything that she wants. She thinks about it and realizes there is nothing that is coming to her mind. He tells her if that is the case then he will decide on his own. She questions what is it that he wants to decide. As he states it is a secret for now, but she can look forward to it. She mentions she does not know what he is talking about, but she will trust him and look forward to it. Right then they hear a sound which leaves them focused. The knight asks them if something is the matter as he did not listen to it. She questions if just now did not the sky become darker. He tells her that he felt it too, and there was a strong energy of some sort. She mentions that she has a really bad feeling about this. He hugs her and tells her it is probably nothing serious, so she should not worry too much about it. She then thinks about it, wondering if today is not the day the spies are supposed to set fire to the royal palace. She wonders if it could be related to that. Despite the ominous feeling, the following days were peaceful. After deciding to enter the art competition, she continued practicing painting, and she started getting used to living as a member of the Virch family. It is strange that everyone keeps asking her if she wants to get something lately, but now she finds herself smiling more often. She is aware that if it were here back in Elheim, she would not have imagined this. Even when she thinks about Elheim, she no longer feels any anger. Now she does not even care what happens to them. The maid calls out to her and asks her if she would like to join her for a walk in the garden. As they're taking a walk in the garden, she finds the weather very nice. The maid tells her it seems even the sky is blessing someone's special day. She thinks about the special day as the maid guides her to a place. She's totally stunned as she finds everyone standing there welcoming her. Michael is holding a bucket of flowers as he wishes her a happy birthday. She realizes that today is her birthday and she completely forgot about it. Her birthday is also the anniversary of her mother's death, and a day to celebrate Ryan's birth, so every year on her birthday, she would sit in a dark room watching the bright and noisy world outside. It was not really sadness, she just thought it was normal, but then she looks at all the decoration, she questions where did these roses come from. The Duke tells her that they wanted to show her the blue roses that symbolizes her name on her birthday. So they bought up all the blue roses in the empire. He asks her how is it and if she likes them. She tells him that she loves them. She knows the people looking at her with warm guesses. Truly celebrating her birth at this moment is a feeling she never experienced in her past life. Michael calls out to her and mentions meeting her was the greatest fortune of his life. He kisses her hand and thanks her for being born. She ponders that this is the first birthday where she has not been told that being born was a sin. She wonders if it is okay to feel this warm and happy. Everyone congratulates her and thanks her for becoming a part of their family. She questions if it is really okay for her to be a part of this family. The Duke mentions of course and tells her she is already a part of their family and without her virtue would not be what it is today. Michael states he is so happy to be able to celebrate her birthday and mentions they should celebrate her birthday here every year together. She has tears in her eyes as Michael becomes shocked, questioning why is she crying. Even the Duke is taken aback. She tells them it is fine. She starts to laugh as she mentions she's just so happy. She is so happy that she thinks she will never forget this day for the rest of her life, no matter how bad things get. She feels like she could live forever with just this memory. After some time, Michael states they cannot end the celebration with just words. With Michael's words, a grand gift-giving ceremony began. The former family head's gift was a ring with the family seal. He told her with this she could go anywhere and buy anything under his name. The dude's gift was a deed to land and employment contract. He told her that the land and the people are all hers now. From Merline she received a handmade necklace, and she got small gifts from Walter and Andrew too. After a while, Michael asks her if she is tired from the surprise party. She tells him that is not the case and it was so much fun. She thanks him for walking her to her room. Right then he asks her what is she talking about. He mentions the most important thing is still left. She wonders about the most important thing. He opens her room and she finds multiple gifts inside. He tells her that he prepared 17 gifts for her. She is totally shocked as she questions if he prepared that many. He responds of course as one would not be enough and asks her why does she not open one. She picks up one and finds a teddy. He tells her that one is for her 4-year-old self. It is a birthday gift for every version of her who has lived until now. He wants to celebrate all the birthdays she could not enjoy. She's totally taken aback as she suddenly runs and hugs him and thanks him. She has tears in her eyes as she thinks that Michael has given a gift to her younger self. It feels like even her past self was saved by him. She knows that he is the greatest gift to her. He then after a while tells her that after the art competition is over, Father mentioned having her coming-of-age ceremony in Virtue. She questions about it as he tells her yes, if they hold it in Virtue everyone will know she is one of them. She tells him what the time for her coming-of-age ceremony has already passed. He responds that it does not matter, as if Virtue decides to do it, who would dare object? She smiles, telling him it sounds good. He tells her many people will probably come and even Elheim might show up, asking if she would be okay with it. She tells him it does not matter as those people mean nothing to her anymore. In Elheim Dukedom, the Duke is told that a letter has arrived from Virch. The Duke questions if it is finally a reply from Reincarnates. It turns out it is not exactly that. In the letter it's written that Virch has announced that they will hold Reincarnates' coming-of-age ceremony in a few months. The Duke is totally shocked as he thinks they are still unsure whether the spirit king that Dantirian mentioned will awaken or not, and there is no good reason to bring Reincarnates back from Virch. If they go, they might just humiliate themselves in front of the other novels again. His son asks him if they should even go. Right then the Dantirian questions what are they hesitating about, they must go. This shocks both of them, as he states. They are her real family, so they will proudly attend her coming-of-age ceremony. Reincarnates is seen painting, her expression focused as she thinks to herself that she must complete this piece before the finals of the art competition. She reminds herself that she also has to make sure the Duke of Haran sees it, especially catches it from behind. As she continues working, Michael approaches from behind and shows concern, suggesting that it would be better for her to take a break since she has been working so much and so late into the night. But Reincarnates simply smiles inwardly, thinking that thanks to him, the Duke, and even the sub-Duke treating her so well, she doesn't feel tired at all. However, something lingers on her mind, something she wants to ask him. She hesitates, then speaks up, saying that she wants to use a special tool for this painting and wonders if there are any unique art supplies at Virch. Michael pauses thoughtfully before replying that there is, in fact, a special paint gifted by the Temple of Light, who are one of their sponsors. She then asks if she would be allowed to use it. He replies that it would be difficult for ordinary people to handle, but since she is an awakener, it should be easy for her. Still, Reincarnates feels nervous. A memory from before the regression returns. She recalls how the Duke of Haran had been looking for someone capable of restoring a damaged painting. If she shows she can restore the sacred artwork, he will no doubt come looking for her, so she asks Michael if she can obtain that paint. With the gentleness of a true gentleman, he says that he would very much like to give it to her himself, and if she wants it, he will bring it for her. Then, taking her hand with care, he gently pulls her away from the painting, suggesting they take a short break and dance for a while. To Reincarnates, he sometimes reminds her of that sly silver fox, yet she smiles and accepts his offer, letting herself be led. The two are soon seen dancing together. Michael compliments her, saying she has gotten quite good at dancing. Reincarnates softly replies that it is thanks to him. Lately, she has been busy preparing for the coming ceremony and the art competition, yet even with all that, she finds herself carving out time to dance with Michael. She acknowledges that she has improved, but every time he asks her to dance, she can't help but wonder, does he want to spend time with her, even if just a little? He swirls her mid-dance and, with a quiet voice, says that he has a favor to ask. She tilts her head and asks what kind of favor, but as they come too close, she accidentally steps on his foot and hurriedly apologizes. Once more, she inquires what the favor was. Michael clears his throat and says that at the Imperial coming-of-age ceremony ball, he would like her to dance with him first. She looks at him and softly replies yes. Then he leans in slightly and asks in a low voice if she even knows what that signifies. Reincarnates seems to have no knowledge of what it means. Michael explains that the first dance between a man and a woman at such an event is symbolic. It represents romantic affection. The weight of the meaning makes Reincarnates nervous. Michael senses her tension and then, without hesitation, asks the bold question, what does she think of him? This is getting the vibes when your guy friend of 2 years finally gives in. Reincarnates looks at him, her mind swirling. She thinks that when she is with him, she can't help but realize how much she enjoys just being near him. The moment their hands touch, her heart races, and she is filled with a gentle happiness. But still, she remains uncertain, are these truly the feelings of love? She says aloud that she is sorry, admitting that she doesn't really know what rational feelings are or what love even means. Even her emotions, she confesses, are hard to express. Michael can only smile softly at her words. Reincarnates has endured so much pain, and for so long she has neglected herself. It's only natural, he thinks, that understanding her own feelings will take time. Then, pulling her into a comforting hug, Michael tells her that it's all right. She doesn't need to rush anything, and when she is sure of her feelings, They can talk about it again. Ajay is such a gentleman, he can fix me. After all, he will always be by her side. Ryard thanks him quietly for understanding her. Meanwhile, at the Imperial Palace, a knock sounds on the door. Hestel enters, greeting him formally. He asks if she is learning the rules of the social circle properly. She assures him that she is. He gives her a firm order to make sure she learns them perfectly. After all, with her brainwashing ability, Ryard will be his. Hestel gives a creepy smile and says with confidence that she will not let him down. Hestel, even though merely the daughter of a viscount, is quite well known among the nobility for her artistic talent. But the Crown Prince did not choose her for that reason alone. It is because of the special ability she possesses, the loose form of mental manipulation. This ability, he believes, will play a significant role in helping him obtain Ryard. The Crown Prince looks at Hestel thoughtfully, remarking that now that he thinks about it, she resembles the Lady of Elheim quite a bit. The resemblance is vague, but still noticeable. At his words, Hestel makes a strange expression. Then a butler arrives and informs the Crown Prince that he has a guest. The Crown Prince furrows his brow in confusion as he had no appointment scheduled. The butler then reveals that it is Duke Haran. The Crown Prince raises an eyebrow, wondering aloud if Duke Haran is truly from that mysterious family people often speak of. He asks the butler if it's really the Duke Haran. The butler replies affirmatively, stating that the man bears both the ring given by the imperial family and the seal of House Haran. The Crown Prince, now delighted, tells him to let the Duke in. As Hestel prepares to take her leave, she glances curiously at Duke Haran as he enters, her eyes briefly lowering to his shoes before she exits. Duke Haran steps into the chamber and greets the Crown Prince. The Crown Prince asks what has brought him here. The Duke states that he is here to inquire about the fire that occurred years ago in the imperial residence. The Crown Prince recalls the incident. It was an unusual fire that began in his chamber. Despite every effort, the flames could not be extinguished by water, and then, just as suddenly, the fire vanished all at once. Duke Haran says that the fire had been caused by a special ability, and he believes that it may be connected to the temple. The Crown Prince begins to suspect that Duke Haran knows more than he's revealing. He asks what of it. The Duke makes it clear he wants to know who started that fire. The Crown Prince is pleased. This situation might allow him to manipulate Duke Haran as well. However, he also knows that no deal can be made without knowing what Duke Haran truly wants. Still, with a smirk, the Crown Prince offers to help him and in return, promises to let the Duke meet that person. Duke Haran agrees, but adds a sharp warning. If this turns out to be false, the Crown Prince will have to face the consequences. The Duke shows no mercy to those who deceive him. The Crown Prince casually agrees, though deep down he scoffs. Not even the Emperor had found out who was behind the fire, so how does this man expect to learn the truth? Duke Haran and the Crown Prince then shake hands to seal their temporary alliance. The next day, Ryard entrusts the submission of her painting to Merlin. Merlin assures her that everything will be submitted on time. She also tells Ryard that she is confident she will succeed. Even though Merlin doesn't know much about painting, she could still feel something overwhelming in Ryard's work. With those words, she takes her leave. Michael then turns to Ryard and says that they should head inside, as the Duke has asked him to do something in the office. He pauses and compliments her, saying that he has never seen anyone make a painting with wax before, and it was truly beautiful. Ryard responds that it's all thanks to him that she was able to try wax painting. But Michael thinks to himself that it's really because of her. If she were just an ordinary person, she wouldn't have been able to do it at all. Ryard also reflects inwardly, thinking that Michael likes to repeat those same kind words, and if Merlin, a normal human, was able to recognize that her painting was something extraordinary, then surely Duke Haran will be able to see it as well. Michael asks her if she's finished with painting, and if they'll be able to spend more time together now, but she only smiles, thinking that he hasn't left her alone for even a moment. Then Michael asks her a question her painting, which was quite amazing. What kind of painting was it? Ryard recalls the image in her mind. He repeats the question, asking her again. She replies that it's a secret for now. Michael, amused, says that he will wait for her to tell him later. Ryard smiles and assures him that she surely will. Inside the manor, the Duke and the head Duke welcome Ryard. The former Duke remarks that now that all of them are present, the current Duke should speak. Ryard grows curious, wondering what kind of conversation is about to happen now. The Duke then reveals his intention to elevate Virtue and formally establish it as a duchy. This shocks both Ryard and Michael. Ryard asks the Duke what made him come up with such a plan. The Duke reveals that it's something he has been preparing for a very long time. Virch has been bound for a long time, and he was raised with the belief that the line between the royal family and Elheim must never be crossed. That's why he has never retaliated against them, no matter what they've done. The former Duke says this with bitterness, but now that he has truly reflected on what they did to them, he can no longer remain silent. Michael reminds them that the goal is to keep the royal family alive, so there's no need to drag them down with them. He adds that it would be good if Ryer came forward sooner. At that, Michael mutters under his breath, "What the?" The Duke responds that he's heard some quite unpleasant news that Duke Haran has joined hands with the imperial family. This revelation makes Ryer flinch. The Duke assures them that Haran hasn't made any dangerous moves yet, but it still troubles him. Therefore, before doing anything on that side, he believes it would be better to wrap things up here and proceed with the principality's transition. Ryer begins to think Haran has joined hands with the imperial family. That didn't happen before the regression, according to her memories. Duke Haran had been a man who cared for nothing but his icon. She becomes certain that the imperial palace must have made a deal involving the torch. But if he sees her drawing, she is confident he will come looking for her. At Duke Haran's residence, the Duke looks at his haircut in the mirror. He notices that his hair color seems to have lightened and wonders if it's because he has used his abilities quite often. Just then, the butler informs him that the carriage is ready. Duke Haran reaches for his mask, but then he smiles, thinking he won't need it for now after all. He is Jen Walker today. At the art exhibition, the man guiding Duke Haran shows him the paintings that have passed the preliminary stage. He asks which one stands out the most. To the Duke, none of the paintings seem special until he comes across Rart's work. The man mentions that the artist had chosen to remain anonymous, and perhaps the winner will be as well. Duke Haran feels holy power emanating from the painting. He thinks finally he has found someone capable of restoring the holy fire. Turning to the man, he asks if it's possible to find out who painted it. The man replies that they don't know, as the painting was submitted anonymously. Duke Haran understands that he must find this person no matter what. As they talk, Hestel sees Duke Haran leaving. She thinks that perhaps there's a way to find out who he really is. As he is about to leave, he sees Hestel approaching. She greets him, assuming he must be the genius painter Jen Walker. He remembers her. She's the one he saw walking out of the Crown Prince's chambers that night. Hestel smiles and introduces herself. He replies that he knows who she is, a rising star who has become quite popular among the nobles. He asks if she's here because of the contest. She admits that she is also a participant. She had waited, having been told that the paintings to be eliminated in the preliminary stages would be returned. But no matter how long she waited, hers wasn't returned, so she came to check for herself. This girl actually scared the hell out of me. He tells her that if her painting wasn't returned, it must have passed the first stage. Then he asks her why she's here. She confesses that she hadn't thought it would be possible this time. She had submitted a painting filled with nothing but red paint. Duke Haran gazes at her, wondering if she's the woman who painted the piece he saw. But he doesn't sense any holy power from her. Either there's something he doesn't know, or she's lying. Hestel quickly tells him to forget what she said and prepares to leave. But then he stops her and asks if she could tell him more about that painting. Now at the Imperial Palace, the Crown Prince asks if it's really true. Hestel tells him with confidence that she is certain Jen Walker is actually Duke Haran. He finds it hard to believe that Haran truly changed his appearance just with the costume. Then he questions how she managed to get close to him. Hestel replies that she's the one who submitted the red painting, and now he is fully on her side. The Crown Prince praises her, saying she did a good job. He instructs her to win him over completely. Without making a single mistake, Hestel responds with a calm assurance, promising that she will carry out his request flawlessly. Yet the way she speaks is oddly chilling. "Am telling you guys this girl is cooking something." Meanwhile, on the other side, Ryard is informed that her painting has won the prize. Merlin, pleased, remarks that she was certain Ryard's painting would win. It was too exceptional not to. Ryard thinks that if she really did win, then her painting must have stood out significantly. Now, knowing there's someone capable of painting sacred art, she is sure that Duke Haran will come looking for her. Merlin then asks what she plans to do with the prize money. She hands Ryard the envelope containing it and suggests that if there's something she wants to buy, she should go ahead. But Ryard replies that there's nothing in particular she wants. It's true after all, the Duke and the former prince have already given her nearly everything she could need. But suddenly, a thought strikes Ryard. She decides she wants to buy something after all, and asks Merlin to accompany her. Merlin agrees, saying she'll inform the knights. But Reincarnates stops her. She wants to go alone, just the two of them. It seems like she wants to keep this outing a secret. Now they are walking through the bazaar. Reincarnates reflects that this is her first time going out like this. It's surprising to her there really are people living outside the mansion. And they all look so happy. She feels a strong desire to protect their happiness for as long as she can. The two of them enter a shop. Reincarnates wants to buy handkerchiefs, and she tells the seller what she's looking for. The seller nods and begins packing them. As she waits, Reincarnates' eyes fall on a selection of brooches. It seems she has made her decision. After a while, they have bought many things, but Reincarnates has many people she wants to give gifts to show her gratitude. Merlin is certain that everyone will love what they receive. Reincarnates hands one of the gifts to Merlin. Merlin appears stunned, almost in denial. Reincarnates explains that with her first payment, she wanted to buy something for the people she loves, and she has always been grateful to Merlin. Merlin accepts the gift, eyes tearing up. It's her first time receiving something like this. Reincarnates tells her that she bought something that will look good on her, but if she wants to exchange it, she's free to do so. Merlin smiles and says that whatever Reincarnates chose is surely beautiful. Suddenly, Reincarnates glitches, her body trembles briefly, and she looks back. But there is nothing. Still, she feels a faint energy coming from the water. It's Ryan. She realizes it if he's openly revealing himself, then he must be here to summon her. Merlin calls out to her, but Reincarnates brushes it off, saying it's nothing. They continue walking toward the carriage. As they walk, Reincarnates thinks that it's useless. Ryan won't be able to reach her, no matter how hard he tries. They will never meet again. But from the shadows, Ryan watches her leave and thinks bitterly how dare she ignore him. He had come to Virtue, convinced that he would find her here, but then he smiles darkly. There's still a chance. They will meet again at her ceremony, if she decides to attend. At the manor, seeing the breakfast so bountiful, Reincarnates asks the boys if there is an occasion. The Duke responds that today is a special day. They all congratulate her for winning the prize. She thanks them all and says that she was planning to tell them after returning from her outing. The Duke says that they already know she went outside with Merlin. Michael then asks her where she went. She tells him that she went to buy something and asks Merlin to bring in the gifts. Now she presents all the gifts to them. The Duke and the former Duke seem to be in denial. She tells them that she bought these with her prize money, and since it was her first moment of recognition, she wanted to spend it in a meaningful way. They both grow emotional. The Duke opens his gift and finds a red brooch, just like the symbol of Virtue. He says it's the best gift he has ever received and declares that he will wear it always. Then he tells Michael to open his. Michael opens the gift and finds a blue brooch. Near him, Reincarnates asks if he likes it. He smiles and says he really does. He says that looking at the brooch makes him feel as if he is looking at the same place as her. Like a sleek kid, he adds that it's a little difficult to put on. Reincarnates says she will help him. Seeing them all lovey-dovey, the Duke and the former Duke think to themselves that he is really insufferable. Then the Duke says that they also have a gift for her, and that they can't just congratulate her with words. They give her a necklace that only Awakeners can use. If she ever feels she is in danger, she can imbue her power into this necklace, and they will be able to find her. They ask her to infuse her power into it now. She concentrates and then opens her eyes, asking if they hear anything. They say they can, as the necklace can only be heard by the family of Virtue. Michael adds that no matter how far she is, they will be able to hear her even across great distances. Reincarnates finds this quite fascinating, though they all hope they will never need to use it. Reincarnates smiles and thanks them all. Then she asks if the ceremony preparations are going well. The Duke, like an excited child, says it is going really well, and that he can't wait for her to see it. As they walk, he explains how they are following the set used by the imperial family, and all the pillars are removed to make it more grand. He finally realizes that it is her coming-of-age ceremony, but it feels like he is the one more excited about it. He says that he had always been excited about the idea that if he had a daughter, he would prepare her coming-of-age ceremony like this. Reincarnates thinks that she has never once received love like this, and if this is how it feels to be loved by someone, she is truly grateful. She tells the Duke that she is really thankful to him. Then the former Duke asks her if she knows about the process of the coming-of-age ceremony. Reincarnates knows that it varies by family, but she doesn't know the details. He tells her that in the Virtue family, the head marks the child with their blood, and only she will be able to see the mark. An illusion connected to Virtue's power will appear before her eyes. The Duke suggests she remember that image well, making her question whether it will help her somehow. He replies that it will depend on her. As the outing comes to a close, Michael tells Reinhardt that tomorrow is finally the ceremony. Reinhardt, not even in her wildest thoughts, imagined that it would be her ceremony in Virch. She thanks them for taking care of her and treating her well. Michael says it's only natural. Then she adds that she is really grateful to him for teaching her how to dance. Now she can easily dance with any of the nobles without making a single mistake. He stands in front of her against the light, asking who she is talking about. She says that it is someone. Michael immediately starts throwing out all the names he can think of, demanding to know who it is. She asks him to calm down, saying that it's someone he doesn't know. This makes his aura darken, and he starts to wonder among all the people around her, is there really a man that he doesn't know about? Seeing him like this, Reinhardt asks what's wrong, but he brushes it off. He grabs her hand and kisses it, saying it was just a childish thought. He kisses her hand again, and even bites her finger lightly before taking his leave. But Reinhardt thinks to herself that it feels like he was in a bad mood today. The scene shifts to Reinhardt sleeping. Michael is beside her in her dream. He kisses her hand gently and tells her not to be scared he won't eat her. Then she wakes up to the sound of Merlin calling her. Merlin tells her that she needs to wake up early, as there's a lot of preparation to be done. She adds that she will help Reinhardt get ready so she can head out quickly. Reinhardt thinks that it was just a dream, but to have such a strange dream must mean yesterday's thoughts are still lingering in her mind. She finds herself blushing. Now in the carriage, they have arrived at the annex. Michael helps her to get off. The Duke and the former Duke are already there. Michael tells Reinhardt that she looks really pretty, like a lady descended from the heavens. But because of that dream, Reinhardt still feels nervous. Hand in hand, Michael tells her that he will stay by her side the whole time, but if something still happens, she should use the necklace. And now they finally enter the annex. As soon as she steps inside, all the people begin to whisper about how beautiful she is. The ceremony of the coming of age begins. The Duke tells her not to be nervous, as they don't have to share what happens during the ritual. It can stay between them. The Duke draws blood from his hand and pours it onto Reinhardt's palm. She closes her eyes. Suddenly, she sees herself in Michael's lap. He tells her that no matter what the future holds, what matters now is that he won't be able to leave her anymore. She opens her eyes to see Michael standing there. She doesn't understand what the vision means, but the feeling she experienced within it, maybe it was love. She is not completely certain if it is love, but for some reason, her heart feels so full that she could cry. Now Reinhardt is having the time of her life. Her usually annoying father is shocked to see her this happy. Meanwhile, Ryan is fuming. How dare she forget Elhim so easily? But he's sure she still won't be able to forget him. Right now, Reinhardt and Michael are talking when Ryan appears. She didn't expect him to come. He scoffs, saying that since he was invited, he had no choice. Michael steps forward, remarking that it seems the invitation must have mistakenly reached them. Ryan replies coldly that he's here to talk to his sister, not to Michael. Michael responds dryly, questioning the word sister, since as far as he knows, Reinhardt has already severed ties with the Elhim family. There's a cold and heavy silence between them, like a world war of glares. But Reinhardt tells Michael that she's fine. It seems like there's something they need to say, so she'll talk to them. After all, this is something that has to be done sooner or later. Now alone, the two of them face each other. Ryan smiles and says she looks quite happy, as if she's forgotten everything about Elhim. Reinhardt replies that she is happy because her real family is Virch. Ryan scoffs creakingly and asks if she really thinks they see her as family. He grabs her arm, telling her she can never be part of the Virch family and not to forget that she's still an Elhim. Reinhardt sighs and strikes his hand away. She glares at him, telling him to remember that she will never return to Elhim. Ryan grows nervous. The power she now holds is far beyond what he saw that day. If Reinhardt returns, he knows he could use that power. Now he understands. He must bring her back no matter what. He changes tactics, taking the sentimental route. He says that even if she's not a member of the family anymore, she's still his sister. She scoffs and asks if he ever truly thought of her as a good sister. She tells him to leave now and not to come looking for her again. Ryan tries to stop her, but Michael arrives, saying it looks like someone isn't leaving. Then he turns to Reinhardt, saying it's time to dance. He asks if the conversation is over. Reinhardt says there's nothing more to say. And with that, the two of them walk away, leaving Ryan behind, clenching his fists in silent rage. Now in the dazzling dance hall, Michael asks Reinhardt if she's okay, and if he should have stopped Elhim from coming. But Reinhardt doesn't seem to care whether they come or not, doesn't matter to her. Deep down, though, Michael wanted them to come. He wanted them to see that she's living happily now, and he wanted them to regret everything down to their very core. But Reinhardt knows them too well. Even if they regretted it, they wouldn't have changed. Their nature is unchangeable. Michael agrees that she's right, then decides not to talk about them anymore. They're not worth it. He tells her to focus on her own scene because she's the most important one here. Suddenly, that illusion returns to her. The one where Michael tells her he can't live without her. She finally tells Michael that she saw him in her vision. She asks if that vision has something to do with Virch's abilities. Michael stays silent for a moment, then says that in time, she'll understand it herself. Just then, someone walks toward them. Michael and Reinhardt both turn to look. It's the Crown Prince. He says he's sorry for arriving late. First he congratulates Reinhardt, then he asks if she would like to dance. Reinhardt looks confused when the Crown Prince suddenly asks her for a dance. He insists, saying that he has been watching her ever since their days in Elgin. But in her heart, Reinhardt thinks that he never once truly looked at her, no matter how many times he used to visit. She responds with a gentle apology and politely declines the invitation. The Crown Prince asks for a reason, and Reinhardt reveals that she doesn't wish to dance with someone who endangered Virch. Her words cause his expression to darken visibly. Michael quickly steps forward, addressing the Crown Prince with grace and formality. He expresses his deep gratitude for the prince's past kindness and grace, and mentions how he has long wondered how he could ever repay him. Yet now, once again, the Crown Prince has come to visit them. Michael's tone sharpens slightly as he declares that he is sure the Crown Prince knows that he never forgets a favor he will repay each one of them. A faint, ominous pressure begins to settle around the group, the atmosphere turning heavy. The Crown Prince, with a thin smile, responds that he will look forward to that repayment. As he turns and walks away, he quietly mutters to himself that Reinhardt is arrogant and he is eager to see just how she plans to resist him. He thinks that once Hestel successfully brainwashes her, there will be no struggle left. Later, he encounters Hestel, but she is alone. He questions her harshly, asking what she's doing here alone when she claimed to know Duke Haran, who still hasn't arrived. Hestel calmly replies that since Duke Haran said he would come, he surely will. The Crown Prince lashes out, warning her that there must be no mistakes in bringing Reinhardt to him. He tells her to find a chance to grow closer to Reinhardt and maintain that connection. Hestel agrees, and at the ball, she watches Reinhardt from afar. She admits to herself that she had never even known Reinhardt existed during their time in Elheim, yet now that she sees her, Reinhardt's presence dazzles her. She had planned to approach her once she found her alone, but not once has Reinhardt been left unaccompanied. It's clear that Virchie treasures her deeply, more than Hestel ever expected. Even the normally somber manner of Virchie has been transformed in her presence. She finds herself thinking bitterly that they resemble each other in appearance, yet their worlds are so drastically different, it feels unfair. If Reinhardt truly resembles her, then shouldn't she too be entitled to Virchie's wealth, power, and honor? With that thought, Hestel grabs a drink and heads straight for Reinhardt. She introduces herself with a smile, calling herself Hestel, and saying that it's an honor to meet her. She even congratulates Reinhardt on her ceremony, pretending to be sincere. She mentions that the wine tastes quite good, which is why she brought some especially for her. But Reinhardt politely declines. Still smiling, Hestel insists and then, without warning, attempts to throw the wine at her. In an instant, Reinhardt responds by stopping it with her water magic before a single drop can touch her. The guests gasp in awe, their eyes drawn to the display. The scene quickly becomes one of admiration, with murmurs spreading through the room. Hestel, visibly nervous now, realizes that Reinhardt has actually used her ability in front of everyone. Trying to regain her composure, she praises Reinhardt, saying that though she had heard rumors of her powers, seeing them firsthand is truly remarkable. She even thanks Reinhardt for covering up her mistake so gracefully, then offers to get her something, calling her my lady. Reinhardt flinches slightly at the sudden shift in address. They're still strangers, and being addressed like that doesn't sit well with her. She simply turns away and tells Hestel that nothing happened, and she should just go enjoy the party. Hestel thanks her again, but internally, she is frustrated. Reinhardt isn't giving her even a sliver of opportunity to build a real connection. Michael approaches Reinhardt and asks if she knows Hestel, to which Reinhardt replies that they are meeting for the first time. He then begins to praise her, saying that he saw her using her ability earlier and that it was amazing. Hestel grits her teeth at his words, and nearby guests begin whispering among themselves. Someone recognizes her and says that Hestel is also a great painter. When they look at her closely, they remark that the rumors are true. Hestel is the one who painted the renowned world in red. This makes Reinhardt freeze. She watches as people begin asking Hestel if she truly painted that piece. Shamelessly, Hestel says yes, and Ryard is left deeply stunned.